gained over 1,000 yards rushing in his 2 years with the Buckeyes. This 79 Ohio State edition can run and pass. Southern California brings the 79 Heisman winner, number 12, Charles White, to the game. The elusive White finished his career the second highest rushing total in college history. USC, Ohio State, both unbeaten. A possible national championship on the line. As NBC Sports presents the College Bowl season, featuring the best in college football postseason action. Today from Pasadena, California. Ohio State meets USC in the 1980 Rose Bowl. This Rose Bowl telecast is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, who invite you to see our 1980 models and compare Chrysler engineering to any other cars. By the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial. It eliminates winter tire changeover. And by the people who bring you delicious, refreshing Coca-Cola. Coke adds life, so have a Coke and a smile. California, the famed granddaddy, the landmark here in Pasadena, jam-packed 105,000 fans at the Rose Bowl to see the Ohio State Buckeyes unbeaten, untied against the undefeated, once-tied USC Trojans, and a possible national championship to the winner. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rose Bowl as we have the special presentation of the Royal Court, the Queen, lovely 18-year-old Deanne Rotz, a freshman at Pasadena City College. Lovely entourage as they tour around the Rose Bowl, and they got a standing ovation. There he is. Old Blue Eyes is back. The Tournament of Roses Grand Marshal, Francis Albert Sinatra. The theme this year, Music in America, and there's a man that has entertained us for 40 years with his musical poetry, his lovely wife, Barbara. My way, and his way is in first class on this sunny 70-degree day in Pasadena, California. Happy New Year, everyone. Dick Enberg, and I'm privileged to be here. My first Rose Bowl game, and we only hope that your 1980 can be as beautiful as this fantastic day in Southern California. Blessed as well to be working alongside my partner here on NBC. Once again, Merlin Olsen, Happy New Year, big guy.
Thank you, Dick, and a Happy New Year to all who are sharing this day with us.
Now, let's talk about the teams. The USC Trojans come in here as the favorite, even though they're ranked lower in some of the polls.
I talked to Earl Bruce, and he said, you know, when you start getting ready for a team, you look at the film, you start looking for weaknesses. He said, we're still looking for those weaknesses. They start right in the pits. The games are won and lost on the line of scrimmage. And SC has perhaps the biggest, strongest offensive line I have ever seen. They are huge, and they are powerful, and they're quick as well.
They're as big as many of the pro teams.
I think they're bigger than any pro line I've seen all year. The other thing they have to go with that great blocking up front is the running of a Heisman Trophy winner in Charles White. White's an amazing back, does everything he can to get the extra yardage, scores prolifically. It's bad enough that they can run the football, but they can pass as well. Paul McDonald, Denny Frizzell, defensive coach for OSU, said he's the finest and most poised college quarterback he's ever seen. A high compliment, and of course he's the man trying to get him stopped.
Obviously a great SC offense. Some say maybe the best mixture of running pass that any college team has ever had. How about the Southern California defense?
If they do have a weakness, and I say if, because they really are a tough physical football team. They play physical and team defense. If they do have a weakness, it's in stopping the short passing game, something that Ohio State does well. Maybe that's where the opportunity will come today.
All right, that's the USC Trojans, and Merlin and I welcome to discuss the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know a lot of NFL players welcome him into our NBC broadcast booth. Happy New Year, O.J. Simpson.
Happy New Year to you, Dick, and I can't think of a better way to start the 80s than here at Pasadena at the Rose Bowl.
What a day. And how about those Buckeyes?
Well, I tell you what, the Ohio team is probably the most versatile Big Ten team to come in here in the last decade. I don't think it was since Bob Greasy brought his Purdue team here in 1967 that they came in with a legitimate passer and passing attack. Of course, they're led by the fine sophomore quarterback, Art Schleister. He's a little unusual. He's one of the few real fine passers I've ever seen who run the option play real well. He mixes it up a lot. He throws all his receivers. His favorite receiver is a fine junior flanker, Doug Donnelly. They call him White Lightning, fast guy. They remind me a lot of Burt Jones and Roger Carr, the fine Baltimore duo. I think the strength of the team really is on the defense, their defensive secondary. There are 4 guys playing back there who all made some Big Ten all Big Ten team. They play the run real well. They come up and hit. They're very, very physical and intimidating. But the key to this game may be their middle guard, a guy named Tim Sawicki. Tim is only 218 pounds. And I think SC may try to muscle him earlier. And if he can handle the muscle, they can be tough. If he can't handle the muscle, those defensive backs are going to make a lot of tackles.
So we'll be keeping our eyes on number 68 in the Crimson of Ohio State, because he's going to have to do battle with those behemoths in the front five of the USC line. There's the Trojan horse. That was an inspiration. O.J. Simpson told everyone yesterday he saw that as a JV player back in San Francisco. Said, someday I want to go to school that has that beautiful white horse. USC's colors, those of Ohio State. A beautiful day. This is right out of the Chamber of Commerce manual. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to present our national anthem, the University of Southern California Marching Band.
Plays our national anthem.
The lips of the Grand Marshal himself, Frank Sinatra, said it all. That's marvelous. We'll meet all the players from Ohio State and USC right after these messages. Introducing the champions of the Big Ten Conference, undefeated, untied Ohio State. UPI's Big Ten Player of the Year, just a sophomore, already regarded as Ohio State's all-time passer.
My name is Art Schleister. I'm the quarterback for the Buckeyes, and I'm a sophomore. And now I'd like you to meet the rest of the team.
Ohio State's tailback led his team in rushing this year with 799 yards, 6 touchdowns. He was second to Schleister in that regard.
My name is Calvin Murray. I'm a tailback. I'm a junior. I'm from Woodbine.
The Buckeye fullback, leading rusher last year, averaged 5.4 yards per carry this season.
My name is Paul Campbell, senior fullback from Urbana, Ohio.
A speedy flanker. This man may become Ohio State's best pass receiver ever. First 2 years, he's caught 57 passes, had 5 touchdowns this year.
My name is Doug Donnelly, junior flanker from Cambridge, Ohio.
A 4-year Buckeye letterman. First team All-Big Ten center. Among offensive linemen, had the highest scholastic grades.
My name is Tom Wall. I play center. I'm a senior from Norwalk, Ohio.
Now a senior. This man has not missed a game in 3 years. Started all 11 times this season.
My name is Ernie Andrea, senior offensive guard from Wintersville, Ohio.
79, first team All-American, 2-time All-Big Ten player, 3-year starter, strongest man on the Buckeye squad.
My name is Ken Fritz, offensive guard, senior from Ironton, Ohio.
One of the biggest Buckeyes, this senior tackle started all 11 games, enjoyed his best season ever.
My name's Tim Burke. I'm a senior offensive tackle from Marple, Connecticut, Ohio.
And 18 19-year-old freshman played brilliantly all year. His development helped mold the Buckeye offensive line into an outstanding unit.
My name is Joe Wilkins, freshman offensive tackle, Cincinnati, Ohio.
A freshman tight end caught 4 passes, 2 for touchdowns. An outstanding 4-year prospect.
My name's Brad Dwelly, freshman tight end from Sandusky, Ohio.
Another freshman, split end, 19 years of age, finished the year with 22 catches, 15.8-yard average.
My name is Gary Williams, freshman split end, Wilmington, Ohio.
This place kicker, the best in Buckeye history. 195 career points. Remarkably, missed only 3 of 18 field goals this year. His longest, 51 yards.
My name is Vladi Anakievsky, kicker, senior, Columbus, Ohio.
And now let's meet the champions of the Pac-10 Conference. Unbeaten, once tied, USC Trojans. Here's the nation's 3rd leading passer, set a new USC mark, 36 career touchdown throws.
Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to the 1980 Rose Bowl. I'm Paul McDonald, the senior quarterback for the Trojans from Covina, California, and I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year and introduce the rest of the seniors from this year's squad.
This man won nearly every Player of the Year honors in the country. 2-time unanimous All-American, 2nd best rusher in college football history, the '79 Heisman winner.
Charles White, tailback, senior from San Fernando, California.
One of the biggest players in USC history, 6'7" and 280. Although sidelined all year, keep an eye out for number 77. He starts today.
My name is Anthony Munoz, senior offensive tackle from Tijuana, Mexico.
The USC center, one of the mainstays of a remarkable offensive line. He's also an honors student.
Hi, my name's Chris Foote. I'm a senior center. I'm from Boulder, Colorado.
This unanimous All-American, been collecting awards since starting as a freshman 4 years ago. Runner-up for the Outland Trophy as the most valuable lineman in the country.
Nastarovia. My name's Brad Buddy, offensive guard, senior for the University of Southern California. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
USC's leading receiver. He hauled in 27 passes this year, had 3 touchdown catches.
Happy New Year. My name is Danny Garcia. I'm a senior wide receiver, and I was born in Seoul, Korea.
USC has the breakaway ability on kickoffs and punts because of this man. He also represents a deep threat as a split end.
Raymond Butler, wide receiver, senior, hometown, Swinney, Texas.
Another consistent Trojan, the strongest man on the SC defense, an all Pac-10 defensive lineman.
My name's Myron Lapka. I'm a defensive tackle, senior year. My hometown's Chatsworth, California.
This 3-year starter has been the team's leading tackler this year, a UPI All-American.
Happy New Year's, Mom. My name is Dennis Johnson. My position is inside linebacker. My years as a senior, hometown, Flint, Michigan.
This senior honored as USC's Defensive Player of the Year, perhaps the most consistent but most underrated performer on the Trojan defense.
My name is Larry McGrew. I'm an outside linebacker and senior. My hometown is Berkeley, California.
This senior pass defender will have his eye on Schleister. This season, he made 52 tackles and knocked down a team-high 12 passes.
Herb Ward, defensive back, senior, hometown, San Francisco, California.
A walk-on in '76. Through 4 years, this man has handled almost all of the kickoff chores for the Trojans.
Hi, my name is Rob Kerr. I'm a senior place kicker out of San Gabriel, California.
What a sight. 104, 500, 6,000, depending on whether you're counting the bands and the media and all the rest, jammed into this Rose Bowl as we start a new sports decade. USC, Ohio State, the players will be entering the field in a moment. A cheer from across the way as the Trojans take the field. USC defeating Texas Tech, Oregon State, Minnesota, LSU, and Washington State before a tie to Stanford. They finished with wins against Notre Dame, California, Arizona, Washington, and UCLA to win another trip to the Rose Bowl. They have the best bowl record of any team in the nation. They've won 18 bowl games, and they have been the most frequent visitor to this one in Pasadena. Southern California, despite that one tie to Stanford, a touchdown favorite against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Dick, one of the things we can look for in this ball game, we not only have offensive and defensive teams on the field, we also have special teams. And one of the edges that Ohio State brings into this ball game is perhaps a much better, in fact, not perhaps, they have a better kicking game than SC. In Adakievsky, they have a kicker with great range, but also who's been very consistent. And also in the punting department, I think they have the edge over Pryor. In fact, we have an interesting situation with two former not Pop Warner. What are they, Dick?
Former PP&K winners.
PP&K winners. But outstanding punters. I think Pryor, probably the lesser of the two. Certainly an outstanding chance for us to watch the kicking game at its best with Ohio State.
John Robinson, 5-year contract. He signed it yesterday. He'll be at the University of Southern California. And I know that pleases you, O.J.
Yes, it does. You know, this is interesting. The Ohio team hasn't come out. I recall 1 year back in Notre Dame, 1 year had the SC team wait on the field 15 minutes before they came out. So when we went back there in 1967 to play them, we hadn't beaten them there in 34 years. And McKay would not take the field until the Notre Dame team came out. They threatened to forfeit the game. The officials came in and said, we're going to forfeit the game if you don't take your team out on the field. McKay told us, get dressed. We're going home. And we waited a little while, and the Notre Dame team took the field. But this is interesting. Ohio came out unusually early for the warm-ups. We commented on that. They came out about an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes before in the warm-ups, and they should be on the field now, and they're not out. And maybe a little sight going on here.
Well, you wonder if it's gamesmanship or whether or not the Buckeyes just lost communication with their arrival time, and perhaps Earl Bruce, first-year coach for the Buckeyes, giving them a little added incentive verbally.
Well, certainly one of the things we ought to comment on is the fact that when a team travels, as Ohio State has, to another team's hometown, they are at a disadvantage. Even though SC is not playing in their home stadium, they have been living at home, and they have been much more comfortable, much more able to cope with the pressure of this bowl game than Ohio State. But there comes the Ohio State Buckeye team. You can believe that they're about a mile off the turf out there right now, pumped up and ready to go. I think it was a little psyching going on. They wanted to get their little edge coming out of the tunnel.
Ohio State, Woody Hayes gone. Earl Bruce takes over from the man who got him through school at Ohio State. There he is, a 40-year-old Bruce who last coached at Iowa State. They started with a win against Syracuse, struggled to victory against Minnesota, beat Washington State, barely defeated UCLA, but that was the turning point in the season as they won here in Los Angeles on a 90-second drive of 80 yards. Then they rolled past Northwestern, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Illinois, Iowa before their 18-15 win in the finale at Michigan. And here they are again in the Rose Bowl.
One of the things we might talk about early is the fact that Ohio State in their home stadium plays on artificial turf. This is only the second game they've had all year on natural turf. And both of those games, by the way, they really struggled with.
That was Minnesota and UCLA. Frank Sinatra, the official coin flipper.
Heads he calls, and a heads it is. You've won the toss, you can take it.
USC has won the toss. And I believe it looked as if they said they're going to take the goal rather than receive.
I think what Charles White said is we'll take the ball down on this end. I think he wanted both of it.
Which goal do you want to defend? Defend that goal.
Referee Gene Calhoun.
Here's a coin for both of the captains.
And,
you'll have to split it up some way.
Split it up forward.
Yeah.
Semaphore to indicate who will. Now it is. USC will receive to our left. And the Buckeyes of Ohio State will kick it off. All right, that means that Ohio State will be on defense initially, trying to stop that high-powered USC offense. O.J., what might we look for early?
Well, Dick, I think Ohio State realized they can't stand in there man-to-man with USC. I think they think USC's line may be a little too strong for them. So I think they're going to give SC a lot of different looks. I think the key guy to watch early is Todd Bell. He's the rover back. He's number 25. He'll be moving around, and I think he has a few tricks up his sleeve. I think they got a few special plays to try to control SC running the football.
And in Todd Bell, an all Big Ten pick, they have perhaps the best defensive player in terms of athletic ability on that Buckeye squad. All right, USC will have the football initially to start this game. Some folks throw a note and say when you're in a contest of this importance, you'd rather be on defense initially.
I always felt that way when I was playing. I wanted to be on the field to start out with. But when you have such a potent and powerful offense as SC has, with that magnificent, powerful offensive line, and also with Charles White and Paul McDonald, I can't help but feel that maybe if I were the coach at SC, I would say, let's put our offense, let's put our best on the field immediately. Let's get off to a good start offensively. Let's get it going right now.
Scarlet and gray of Ohio State align in the kickoff formation. USC deploys to return. Raymond Butler, 86, and Michael Hayes, 25, will be the deep men for the Trojans. Final from the Sugar Bowl. Alabama, some feel the top team in the country, has defeated Arkansas 24-9 to finish an unbeaten year. 4 undefeated teams left going into this day: Alabama, Ohio State, USC, although one's tied, and Florida State. You'll see them later from the Orange Bowl. The 66th Rose Bowl game about to start as number 1, Bob Atha, approaches the ball and delivers it deep. It'll be Michael Hayes, a senior from San Diego, and he'll sit on it there. Trojans start at the 20-yard line.
Dick, one of the things we ought to look for early, if Ohio State is going to control that SC offense, they're going to have to do it with quickness rather than with strength.
Starting lineups: USC is the backfield run by Paul McDonald, an academic All-American. Marcus Allen, tough fullback, sophomore, and the Heisman winner Charles White at tailback. In motion comes the V-man, Rakshani. And it's White. First carry of the game, gets only a couple. A swarming Buckeye defense spearheaded by Marcus Merrick, number 36. Keith Ferguson also in on the stop. In the line for the Buckeyes and the wide receivers for USC, Dan Garcia and Kevin Williams. Good speed, good hands on the outside, and Hobie Brenner, a tough big target at tight end. Rakshani is slotted left on 2nd and 8. White, 25, 30, and out of bounds with a first down at the 34-yard line. Well, you know the feeling of that student body right.
Yes, Dick, that's been a bread and butter play for SC over the years. They've run that play, incidentally, 106 times this year, and it's averaged 7.7 yards per carry.
Those are the offensive linemen for SC. Munoz on the weak side. If ever there was a misnomer, calling Anthony Munoz a weak tackle, that is a big, strong offensive line.
Foster Foot, Buddy, and Van Horn, giants, average 6'5" in height, as you saw earlier. First down, USC. They actually spotted out of bounds at the 30. White, a tough runner. All the way to the 37-yard line, a gain of 7. A look at the Ohio State defense.
Sawicki in the center, Gary Doolin on the outside along with Jerome Foster. Linebackers, there'll be 4 of them. Ferguson and Laughlin on the outside, Merrick and Washington inside. And that fine secondary that O.J. talked about. Guess, Ellis, Skillings, who's the safety, and Bell, who's the rover. We haven't seen Bell making those big plays. They might have trouble here in the early going controlling SC.
2nd and 3, Marcus Allen with a handoff. The fullback breaking tackles all the way to the Ohio State 49. Allen, say, will be the heir apparent to Charles White's tailback slot. Not a bad running fullback.
One of the problems you have when you have a great back like Charles White in the backfield, you have your eyes on him. And what happens? They don't give the ball to him. They give it to Marcus Allen. And Allen showing his smoothness, tremendous acceleration, gets away from a second tackler. Big gain, first down.
First penetration into Ohio State territory by USC. McDonald audibilizing at the line of scrimmage. And he's going to throw for the first time. Looking for Williams. Almost intercepted. It was intercepted by Ray Ellis, number 27. Ellis with a turnover. LOJ talked about that talented deep defense of Ohio State. Here it is.
Yes, as I said, each man back there has won at least, was voted all Big Ten on at least one poll. As you can see them, they're very quick. They're all excellent athletes. I don't think it was a well-thrown pass. It looked like it was behind him. It looked like he was running out and ready to go up again, and Ellis played it real well.
Watch the quick ball read here as Ellis comes under the receiver, taps it, and then picks it up. He only has to have 1 foot in. He had it comfortably. Here they go.
From the 40-yard line, Schleister on first down throws it intercepted by Herb Ward of USC. Oh my, turnabout is fair play. So the football gets hot in the first 2 minutes in the Rose Bowl. Back-to-back interceptions, and we have a timeout in Pasadena. Just a minute 51 seconds into the first quarter. It's Ohio State nothing, USC nothing. The Trojans have the ball at midfield. No score, less than 2 minutes played in this first quarter, and here's that interception of Schleister.
You look for the early advantage for the turnover. You get it, and what happens? You turn it right back. Herb Ward, number 23, steps in front of Donnelly, the intended receiver. I think Schleister tried to stick that into a defense that was well covered. The result, obviously, an interception. SC has another chance with the football.
It's interesting that both Schleister and McDonald were intercepted but 5 times all year, but they're each picked off in the first 2 minutes today. Rakshani, part tight end, part wide receiver, in motion, and it's Charles White getting only a couple of yards before bumped out of bounds at the Ohio State sidelines at the 49. Credit Merrick, a freshman. That's Ohio State linebacker trying to follow on the traditions of the Cousineaus and Gradishars. Stan White, Rick Middleton at Ohio State.
I think we're going to see a lot of people on those tackles. Going to be hard to call. White cutting to the outside. The great way to stop it back is to force him to run laterally and count the number of people in on that tackle. Great team speed and great team hustle. There were 9 Ohio Buckeyes around that football, and half of them on top of White.
Second down and 7. In motion is White. McDonald looks off, has a man open. Kevin Williams, first down at the 33. Todd Bell made the tackle. McDonald has his first completion.
Kevin Williams has tremendous speed. He's a 9.3 sprinter, but his greatest asset is his quickness. McDonald under pressure, obviously to his secondary receiver, gets the ball up. Williams had cut back and forced Bell so far off the ball that he had no chance to get back, even though the ball hung momentarily. Fine play, first down, they're penetrating deeper.
Deepest penetration of the game at the 33. No score, 12:55 left in the first quarter. Alabama has won against Arkansas. McDonald, complete. Dan Garcia to the 14-yard line. Make that Raymond Butler. Butler, 86. From Brazoria, Texas. He rooms with Garcia. Caught 21 passes on the season.
Let's take a look at Paul McDonald. Quarterback, not even a fake for the run here, just steps back, has plenty of time to throw the football. The break is there. Good job of running the pattern, finding the open area. Butler is down to about the 15-yard line.
They mark it at the 14, first down USC. It's White sweeping right with blockers. 10. And down to the 7-yard line goes White from San Fernando High School. He said that Anthony Davis was like a brother to me, and it was indeed in this game as a freshman that Charles White became nationally known, and they certainly followed through, didn't he, O.J.?
Yeah, he did a super job. He came in, the Michigan team had shook up Ricky Bell. Charles came in, and he rushed for, I think, 126 yards and was really the key to the game, the key to the victory, a 14-6 victory by USC.
I think everyone thought when Bell came out, hey, we got him now. And they said, who is that? Who is that?
They found out, didn't they? Second and 3, Rakshani in motion. Sometimes he'll stop and go back the other way. White up the middle, crunched at the 6-yard line, close to the 5. He'll be short of the first down by a long yard. Third down for John Robinson's USC Trojans. Robinson, after 4 years, 3 Rose Bowls, his teams have lost only 6 times in 4 years.
You know, I like the fact that John Robinson came back throwing the football after Paul McDonald threw that interception. They were running the ball real well, but when your quarterback throws an interception, you want him to have that confidence, and he came back throwing the ball, and I think he'll be throwing all day. I think he has the confidence back.
Third and call it 2. See, there's Rakshani reversing back, and now he's the extra blocker. White into the teeth of the Buckeye defense, and I'm not sure that he made that at all. They put up a good wall for him.
I think he's short of it. It's going to be close, but he's about a yard short. They're going to have a decision to make here. Let's look at the charge, the line charge. They're trying to bury them there on the line of scrimmage. White coming to the outside. Excellent play by the short yardage defense of Ohio State. That's Mark Sullivan, just a freshman in there, doing a great job. He's actually a sophomore, getting underneath that stack, making the first hit on Charles White, and they're going to go for it. Fourth and about a yard.
Not going for the field goal. John Robinson goes for the first down at the 4.5. It's McDonald, play action. Incomplete, and what a job by Ohio State. Mike Guess broke up the pass in the end zone.
There's one of your guys, O.J., Mike Guess, 3 times an all Big Ten performer. And I don't think I've ever seen a better reaction, ball reaction, by a cornerback in my life. Watch this. He stops and comes back, twists his body in the air, and absolutely snatched that ball away from the receiver.
Vic Racciani thought he had a touchdown. Instead, it's Ohio State's ball at the 5-yard line. Timeout, 10:22 left. First quarter, no score. Now the Buckeyes have stopped USC twice on this play in the end zone. Mike Guess, number 12 of the Buckeyes.
Marcus Merrick, number 36, forces a quarterback early, does not let him have time to roll it out of there. But the great play by Guess, reacting to that ball, pulling it back.
On first down, Calvin Murray vaulting out to about the 8, maybe the 9-yard line. Larry McGrew, 57, outside linebacker for the Trojans, made the stop.
We talked about games being won or lost on the line of scrimmage. Number 96, Myron Lapka, taking on the block right there on the line of scrimmage. Gets a good piece of the ball carrier. Hit him right on the line. Forward motion carried him for a small gain.
McGrew 57 and Ricky Gray 35, also a piece of the action. Spotted at the 8-yard line. Second down 6. Schleister to Campbell, the fullback, and he gets nowhere into the middle of that SC defense. Ty Sperling spearheaded the charge, number 63. The offense for the Buckeyes. Sensational sophomore Schleister at quarterback. Paul Campbell, a senior, and Calvin Murray, a junior, the running backs. Gary Williams, Doug Donnelly, they both can fly, and Brad Dwelly, an outstanding freshman tight end.
One of the most experienced offensive lines in football. A couple of 3 fifth-year seniors, Burke, Andrea, and Waugh. And Fritz on the other side, their captain. Lukens, a freshman. He's the youngest and maybe the best of that whole offensive line.
Fritz, an All-American choice. Schleister on 3rd and 5, in trouble, and down he goes at the 10-yard line. Chased by Myron Lapka, the senior from Chatsworth, California, number 96.
Let's talk for a second about that gamble. Going for the points, going for the 7. Would they have been better off taking a 3?
Well, you know, normally you would say yes, but I think they are aware that Alabama won the game, and I think they're playing. They want to win the game, both teams, but they want to win decisively. They know what a national championship does for their recruiting, and I think when you got a Heisman Trophy winner in the backfield, you got 2 plays to get 1 yard. I think it's a good gamble.
Well, on that last play, they gambled again with the run of Schleister. They're stopped. They're going to kick it away.
Tom Morris from Fairport Harbor, Ohio, good punter. From his own goal line, he sends a beauty. Taken by Butler, and he is tripped up at the 45-yard line, fumbled, but after he hit the deck. So a good kick by Morris from his goal line, and USC will begin from its own 44-yard line. Butler, number 3 in the nation in punt returns this year. 8 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first quarter. SC, Ohio State, no score. Ohio State and USC, they played nearly 7 minutes, no score. But without a score, we've had plenty of action. A couple of interceptions. USC gambles and fails from the 4.5 of the Buckeyes.
That's Bill Miles, the coach of the tackles and the tight ends, showing some of the blocking schemes. They'll be adjusting those throughout the game, trying to get the edge on SC.
USC with its wide receivers to the left. Racciani, the V man they call him, in the slot, and Charles White breaks a tackle and gains 3 more than Ohio State thought he would get. It'll be second down and 6 as White now has rushed for 6,020 yards in his fabulous career.
And we've talked about number 68, Sawicki. He's slanting there to the outside. That's Buddy, who just tackles him and puts him on the ground. Somehow I don't think that's a legal block, but you can see the effectiveness of a big man, and Buddy has about 40 pounds and 3 inches on Sawicki.
McConnell to throw, under pressure, dumps it off to Allen, 45-40. He's to the Ohio State 38-yard line. Vince Skillings, not very big, 176 pounds. 48 of the Buckeyes put a mean hit on Allen to stop him cold.
Yes, but if you saw Charles White on that play, they had a blitz on, and Charles White, I didn't know he can block. I mean, he really waxed the guy who came in there.
There's something else we saw there, and that's the ability of McDonald to be cool under pressure. He had a tremendous rush on him, still found the open man. He does that perhaps better than any college quarterback in America.
Two tight ends and Rakshani in motion. So this is the run formation. Now they call that the zap when he reverses his field, and White up the middle, big yardage to the 31 of the Buckeyes. That'll bring up second down and 3. Rakshani, just to give you the terminology, they call it zip when Rakshani starts in motion, runs all the way to the other side. Zap when he stops at the center position, comes back, and then they have a zoom that we haven't seen yet where he starts, goes past the center, and then will block upfield off tackle. That's like pulling a guard and giving him a running start at the snap.
You have to keep your wax out of your ears in that huddle. You get in trouble.
Zip, zap, zoom. Rakshani is slotted left. Second and 3 play. White, first down as he skids to the 25-yard line. White is an interesting story on him. All of the athletes at USC undergo the immersion test. It's a test to measure the body fat. Ricky Bell was measured at about 3%, incredibly low. That was the all-time low at the Institute. This year, this young man, Charles White, 1.8% body fat. I mean, he is all muscle. You drop him in the lake and he couldn't swim if he had a motor on his back.
But we can't swim anyway.
Rakshani in motion on first down. Oh, Michael Hayes came in for that carry and was greeted rudely by number 5, Jim Laughlin, the spirit of the Ohio State defense. Foster in on the play as well.
We talked about stunning and slanting. Watch number 55. Foster pops through the gap here, and he's going to be the first man to meet him right there with the help of the fine linebacker Jim Laughlin. That's the kind of quick, aggressive play that Ohio State is going to need today to shut down that SC offense.
Laughlin, 5, named most valuable player by his own teammates. He made the big plays early in the season that got Ohio State off to the great start and then on to the unbeaten year. Second down, 13. Pass formation, but they run it with Hayes up the middle on a quick hitter to the 24-yard line, which will bring up 3rd and 8 for USC. White back into the game. Hayes goes out.
One of the dangers of doing all that stunning and slanting is that you may open up the wrong hole. And certainly you can make the big plays. You've got to be very careful and get some compensating rushes by people all across the line. It's a defense that must be very well coordinated. So far, they haven't been hit for the big one.
They spotted the 25, so it's 3rd and 9. That's Kevin Williams, the flyer to the left. Garcia split wide right. And White is in motion. McDonald on a draw to Allen, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. Fooled everyone but one of the Buckeyes, and Merlin Olsen. That's Todd Bell, 25. That was your strength as a Ram. They rarely could draw past you.
A little draw play here, and they almost had him. Had Todd Bell missed this tackle, he would have had the first down and maybe more. You see the dive at him right there, but number 25, Todd Bell, who's a linebacker, not a linebacker, almost up in the linebacker's position. He's the rover, of course, and SC was concerned about him. They knew he was going to be lined up different positions today.
I'm sure on that play that he was assigned to the fullback, Marcus Allen, and he was standing there waiting for him. SC has really been taking advantage.
That's right. We don't want to interrupt you except to say that we have a commercial message, and we'll finish that thought in a moment, O.J. Eric Kipp apparently will try for a USC field goal when we return a scoreless tie. Rose Bowl on a glorious day on this January 1st, 1980. USC will try for the field goal. It'll be a 41-yard attempt by Eric Kipp out of the hold of Scott Tinsley.
Kipp has plenty of range, but a little inconsistent in his field goal this year.
It's high enough and long enough. It's good. Eric Kipp, who made but 5 of 13 on the year. His longest was 45 to beat California. That one good from 41. And USC takes the early lead. 4:37 left in the first quarter. Reminder, folks, as these 1980s begin, and what a great sports year 1980 will be. NBC starts its 3rd season of Sports World. That'll be Sunday, January 13th. Since its creation, we're proud that Sports World has brought you exciting and innovative coverage of American and international competition. We've investigated into the controversial and often misunderstood side of sports in our sports journal. We've had a lot of fun, too. Different and outrageous displays on the crazy world of sport. And we'll continue to bring you all this and more in the coming year on Sports World as we kick off the 1980s, January 13th, right here on NBC.
Just a question for you, O.J. You think it's more important in an emotional game like this to put points on the board first? Or is that a great advantage to you?
Yes, I certainly think it is. I think SC is lucky to get that score when they didn't score the first time because the momentum changed so quick in a game like this. You got to take advantage of every good field position you have.
Tim Spencer takes a kickoff to the 20, and he's out to the 24-yard line. The Buckeye people feel he's a star of the future, Tim Spencer. McDonald, 58, made the tackle for USC.
We talk about the sprinters who come down as headhunters. Number 58, Mike McDonald, one of the finest for SC. You can see him turning it on here, getting an eye on that ball carrier, and there it is, right there on Tim Spencer, and a lot of help to follow.
USC has dominated this first quarter in possession, over 8 minutes to Ohio State's 2 minutes. That's Calvin Murray finds a crack in that SC defense and charges to the 30. It'll be second and a short 5 for the Buckeyes. A look at the USC defensive alignment.
We haven't had a chance to set the defensive line. You saw Lepka earlier. Sperling on the nose. Dennis Edwards at the other tackle position. Linebackers, there's some quick ones. Larry McGrew, the strongest. Chip Banks may get much better than McGrew as he gets older. And Herb Ward, you saw him with the interception. Lott, Smith, Browner. Browner just a freshman. He's in there because of an injury, an ankle injury that forced Lott to move to corner.
Jeff Fisher not seeing starting duty. Schleister has running room, 30, 35, and he's out to the 39-yard line. Eric Scoggins, 81, made the tackle. That will be the Buckeyes' initial first down of this game.
Yeah, Schleister came out that time to throw, actually. It looks like he wants to throw more than run. SC's defensive strategy is on option plays is to force him to run the football. They don't want him to pitch it. They want him to carry it himself. They like to rough him up a little bit, but I know they don't want this to happen. They don't want him to drop back to pass and then scramble for the yardage that he's getting.
Well, the big advantage he has is the fact that he can run, and it opened up. He got the first down.
I want to clarify, when you mean rough it up, you don't mean to do anything illegal, but this is a game of contact, and they're going to say if you want to run out here number 10, then you're going to have to pay the price.
On all levels of football.
Dumps it off to Volley, a juggling catch. Did he come up with it? He certainly volleyed it. USC. Number 56, Dennis Johnson, wound up with a football. What's the call? Ohio State?
No, Dick, I think it's going to be a joint reception, in which case they'll give the ball to the offense. But let's look at it here. Schleister put the pass right on target. Volley bounces it 4 or 5 times. Finally does get a hold of it right there. And they both had it at the same time. The ball was on the ground. I'm sure that's what they're calling. Let's watch the receiver now and watch how many times he bats it in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there, they both have it together. Dennis Johnson pulled it away and came up with it.
Well, a man named Volley certainly did it. And it's second down and 5. Up the middle to the 45-yard line and short of the first down. Ricky Gray made the stop on Calvin Murray. Third down 4, Ohio State. USC has the lead, 3-0. Final minutes of this first quarter in the Rose Bowl game. John Robinson, 44 years young. Guys are kidding him about the press guy says that 4 years ago a young John Robinson at 40 came to USC, and they say, yeah, young now going on 60. Schleister play action, looking deep. He has Williams open. Gary Williams to the 2-yard line. What a throw by Schleister. He caught Williams on the dead run, and it's time for the Buckeyes to celebrate.
It's a 53-yard pass play. Schleister to Gary Williams. Shows you the power that this young man has in his passing arm. Watching him practice, he has a powerful rifle right there. You can't throw a better pass than that. And then Williams runs out of the first tackle. Herb Ward, number 23, there to save him. Bulldogs him down, but they're right on the 2-yard line, itching to get that 7 points in the lead.
First and goal for the Buckeyes. Schleister keeps it and is stopped just shy of the goal line. Ricky Gray, 35, 51. Chip Banks with a shoulder as Ohio State is less than a yard from a go-ahead score.
Schlichter is amazing to me. He reminds me of Terry Bradshaw. A defensive back can get no read on him. He doesn't have to really set up to throw. He throws with all arm. That time he never stepped up to throw the ball. He put it 53 yards in the air on the money, standing virtually flat-footed, all arm.
Interesting point, gentlemen. USC has not given up a touchdown in the first quarter all year. Ohio State trying to do something 11 other tough opponents could not. Give it to Murray. And they spot it outside the goal line. He did not get in. And was there ever a vicious hit made down in the depths of that SC defense?
Go down in the pits. You talk about line surge, and this is where some of that physical strength is going to come into play for SC. Big number 78, Georgia Chica, I think is the guy. And Ricky Gray, number 35, the man who polished it off. Eric Scroggins, 81. That's great goal line defense.
You know that Gray is tough. He had a knee injury in the first quarter of last year's Rose Bowl game, played the whole game, made 15 tackles, and required knee surgery after the game. He refused to admit he was hurt, played the whole game on a very serious injury.
And I thought for a minute SC was going to keep that not being scored upon in the first quarter record intact with 7 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ohio State called the timeout.
I think it was more out of confusion than wanting to score in this first quarter, but the Buckeyes have spent a timeout with the ball about a foot from the goal line.
We talked about the emotional aspects of the game, of getting on the scoreboard first. I think one of the most draining things that can happen to a team is to get great field position, to get a big play like that, go down to the 2-yard line, 1.5-yard line, and then get shut out with a play like we've seen on the goal line here.
I tell you, Maryland, in the 67 Rose Bowl, we were playing against Indiana here, and we went right down the field and scored. We had them 7-0. We went right down the field the next time, and they stopped us on the 4-yard line. We had a fumble, and we didn't score again until late in the fourth quarter. We went into the fourth quarter up 7-3, and had to score late in the fourth quarter to finally win the game.
A reminder, our old friend is here, the Goodyear blimp, to bring us a spectacular aerial shots from the Rose Bowl. Good to have you aboard, and Happy New Year. We hope it does a good year for us all. 3rd and goal, Ohio State trailing USC 3-0, possibly the last play of the first quarter. Donley in motion. Inside the handoff. No. Ricky Gray. What a play by Gray, 35. Paul Campbell stopped cold, and that Gray, a sophomore from Tucson, Arizona, has made 2 plays back-to-back. The end of the first quarter of the 66th Rose Bowl game. Ohio State faces 4th and less than a yard when we return. The score after 15 minutes, USC 3, Ohio State nothing. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. The Trojan horse, and those 11 defensive men have played with that kind of strength. 4th and goal for Ohio State, less than a yard away. As you look at the first half statistics, USC has stopped Ohio State from the 2-yard line on the first 3 tries. 4th and goal. This is it for the Buckeyes. 3-0 USC. Schlichter keeps it, and he doesn't make it. The Trojans stop him. Ronnie Lott, number 42, led the charge of USC as they stop Ohio State. 4 tries from the 2-yard line.
What a brilliant goal line stand by the SC defense. And that's the kind of football, the kind of emotional football that will inspire the rest of the team. Watch Dennis Smith right there, 49, 35 Gray, 42 Lott, but the whole team is just firing out. You don't think they're excited?
There he comes, cuts inside. It was Dennis Johnson who really made the initial hit. Credit Johnson, the All-American inside linebacker. Here comes White to the 3-yard line. Stopped goal by Jerome Foster, number 55. That was a remarkable goal line stand, gentlemen. That was 3 cracks from inside the 1, and they didn't make it.
I tell you, emotionally, it's got to be disheartening to Ohio State. It's certainly a lift to the SC defense. They feel now that they can stop them no matter what.
Don't you think, OJ, that lifts the offense, too, when they see their defense perform that way?
Yeah, I think the offense may be a little tired. They've had 2 long drives and only got 3 points. but it certainly is going to affect SC's defense. I think they have all the confidence in the world right now.
Here's White again. Finds a hole and gets out to the 11, maybe the 12-yard line, and that looks to be good enough for the first down. Remarkable first quarter. We did not see a penalty.
Let's look at the hole that opens up here for Charles White. And again, I think the physical size and strength of SC's offensive and defensive lines is becoming very apparent here in the early going. Charles White getting a nice gain, hole open for him, but it's that initial surge at the line of scrimmage, and it's very tough to play against a man who's taller and bigger than you are. You just can't see where that back is going.
Well, we said they were going to work on Sawicki in the middle, try to muscle him, and they've been getting away with it.
Notice Sawicki's not playing on the nose anymore. White dumped at the 10-yard line.
Todd Bell.
He is all over the field, Bell, and of course that's appropriate to the name Rover. Let's talk about Bell a moment, number 25 for Ohio State. He's an interesting young man. He's from Middletown, Ohio. That was the same city that produced Jerry Lucas. Butch Carter, now the Indiana basketball star. Bell in high school long jumped 24 feet 6 3/4 inches. That's a great high school jump, but more importantly, it broke a record set in 1933 in Ohio by Jesse Owens. And he is all over the field with 9.7 speed and a hitter today. 2nd and 12. White doesn't get the ball. The handoff is to Marcus Allen, 33. And Allen is out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Ray Ellis made the stop short of the first down. 3rd down 3.
Marcus Allen doing a good job of adjusting. There was no hole in the middle. Oh, Jay, question for you. And I've always felt that the running ability of a back depended a lot of times on his vision, his ability to see out of the corner of his eyes.
Yes, I agree with that totally. You know, you have to have that good peripheral vision. I felt the biggest handicap I had as a runner in the last few years is I lost a line of vision in my left eye, and I felt that handicapped me more than anything. As we see Kevin Williams, there's missed on a flat pass. He was open. He should have gotten the ball. Should have been able to. Paul should have been able to get the ball to him, and he just missed him.
But look who was covering him. Todd Bell, 25. So one moment he's making a tackle on one side of the field, the other to the other side to defense against the pass. And in comes the kicking team for USC. David Pryor, number 17. He also won a national punt, pass, and kick contest. Average here of 36 yards per punt. Mike Guess, number 12, deep for the Buckeyes at the Ohio State 45. No pressure. Beautiful kick. Perfect spiral. Chases Guess to the 30-yard line. 35, 36, and that's all. Don Jones, number 11, made the tackle for USC. Timeout early in the second quarter in Pasadena. 12:54 remaining in this quarter. The Trojans of USC lead Ohio State 3-0. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, O.J. Simpson at the famed Rose Bowl in Pasadena. 12 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The Southern California Trojans leading Ohio State's Buckeyes 3-0. Ohio State ball at the Buck 35-yard line. Art Schleister, comparison of his statistics the last 2 years. Look at the increase in touchdowns and decrease in interceptions. And he has a man open. Donnelly, his favorite target. He's a junior from Cambridge, Ohio. Joey Browner, that name sounds familiar. Browner, 47, wearing the same number. Well, it's because he comes from a very, very talented football family that includes Outland Trophy winner Ross Browner at Notre Dame, Jim Browner, Willard Browner, and there are 2 more Browners coming. They say are better than the rest.
Quick replay as you watch Schleister. Well, we don't have time for it. Yes, we do. There's Schleister back. Hits his favorite target, Donnelly. And again, a fine pass thrown very effectively.
First down play, the draw, and it doesn't work as Calvin Murray trapped in the backfield and finally dropped by Chip Banks, number 51, a sophomore from Augusta, Georgia.
Dick, one of the things that interested me in talking to Art Schleister about his preparation, he said before his freshman year in the summertime, he would throw the ball 500 times a day, 6 days a week to strengthen that arm. And this last year, between the seasons, he threw 400 to 500 times a day, but only 5 days a week. It's no wonder he has a powerful arm.
Another thing, they say that if he ever hurt the right arm or was trapped held by the right arm, he can throw the ball 50 yards left-handed. He's a natural lefty. Jack Armstrong, 2nd down and 12, and Schleister rolling and looking. He threw that one away, but he had a man close. It was obvious what he did. He had Williams close to the ball, close enough that you can't call intentional grounding. but he was doing exactly that. He grounded it right at Williams' feet.
As you watch Schleister moving back the huddle, you see all those Buckleys on the side of his helmet. Those are for big plays, and that's exactly what he is. He is a big play maker, and there is an art to throwing the football away. A quarterback who knows how to do it does not get caught that often. Again, you watch the rollout, the running ability too. You see him fire the ball away, but he's looking right into the eyes of that receiver. Larry McGrew, 57, locked up on him. No penalty.
Back to the live action. Schleister down the middle. Complete. It's Ty Hicks. He fumbles, and USC has recovered at the 33-yard line. Ronnie Lott, 42 with the ball.
It's a shame because it was a beautiful pass by Schleister. I think today we may see a Big Ten attempts record, at least an Ohio State attempts record. I think they realize now, especially after that goal line stand, that they're not going to get too much running the ball on USC, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Schleister break a number of passing, at least attempt records today.
Well, he'd like to break the completion records, but he'd like his receivers to hang on to the football. A fine hit by number 42, Ronnie Lott, really took that ball away from Ty Hicks. SC's offense on the field.
At the 33 of the Trojans, SC leading 3-0. 11:36 remaining in the first half here at Pasadena. White, running room, here he comes, and dropped by Ray Ellis, 27, as he was starting to make a move to the outside. Mike Guess also in on the tackle for Ohio State.
Let's try and get an idea of why there is so much room. I know there was a great block thrown in there by Foot on the linebacker Marcus Merrick, but a tremendous amount of room for White. Let's look from the end zone. This will give us an idea. There's Doolin being knocked inside. Merrick overran the play, and White just did the rest on his own. Big gain.
Back to the action, and a stop at the 40-yard line as Marcus Allen gets that quick handoff from McDonald and goes nowhere. It'll be second down. Make it third down now on the no gain, and about a yard and a half for USC at the Trojan 42-yard line. You see Paul Hackett in the yellow shirt signaling the offensive plays to Schleister. Basically, they send out a couple of plays at a time, or check that to McDonald, and McDonald then has the option of audibilizing. He can call really anything he wants, and bright enough to do it well. White to the 45 and a first down. Picked his hole and got the yardage he needed for the first down.
We talked early in the telecast about the physical superiority of that SC offensive line, and watch them here as they make room for their Heisman Trophy winning tailback. Plenty of room for the first down. Rakshani even adds to it as he comes in as that B-back, although he got stuck pretty good on the line of scrimmage, but it is a first down.
USC with the lead, 3-0 at its own 45-yard line. Michael Hayes in the game, takes the fake. McDonald throws it, incomplete. Marcus Allen the intended target, but he was well covered as Todd Bell was over there again, and he had help from Al Washington. Washington, number 15, was from Cleveland, Ohio, and his teammates have been kidding him about his joy of being on the West Coast. They've already nicknamed him Hollywood Washington. We told him the story about Billy Wells, the old pony backfield of Michigan State a few years ago, when he infatuated with this climate, wanted to date with an actress. I can't remember, was it Debbie Reynolds, someone? And finally got that date. He said, well, listen, you just tell Pam Grier that I'm ready anytime she wants to call me. McDonald to White. Solid tackle. There he is, Al Washington on cue.
You know, I've noticed one thing. Every time SC put Rakshani or any of their tight ends in motion, they run the football. I think pretty soon now we should look for them to pass off that.
Well, they try and set people up. Certainly one of the things that both teams have had is a tremendous amount of time to prepare for this game, and you've got to believe there are some tricks rolled up in those sleeves.
Kevin Williams is flanked to the left. Michael Hayes in for White, and Garcia split right. 3rd and 8 from the 47. Good protection, and going long for Kevin Williams. Touchdown! Paul McDonald waiting to the last moment. Threw that ball about 60 yards in the air, and Kevin Williams, the touchdown maker, has another. His 21st as a Trojan.
You take a 9'3" sprinter and you add to it a quarterback who not only can read the receivers, but fire the ball deep. You give him a little bit of room, and it's all over. Ray Ellis, number 27, trying desperately. Actually got a hold of him near the goal line, but too late. 6 points on the board, going for a 7th, and a big early lead here in the Rose Bowl.
53 yards, the touchdown throw, and Hip will try to tack on the extra point. He's got it. Now McDonald to Williams. Williams, who was a high school teammate of Charles White. San Fernando was well blessed. So USC with 9 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first half now leads Ohio State 10-0. Ohio State's Buckeyes trying to rev up their offense. They trail 10-0 to USC. Here's McDonald, 53 yards to Kevin Williams.
Yeah, the definition is big play.
Yeah, he is a big play man. He was the leadoff man on SC's NC2A champion relay team, and in the 50 passes he's caught in 3 years, 20 of them have been for touchdowns. That's making the big play.
That's bringing it home. The kick. Ty Hicks will take the touchback. First down, Ohio State at the 20-yard line.
Might be appropriate, Dick Enberg, to talk about an interesting aspect that O.J. touched on with this Ohio State team. This is an unusual team. They have the capability to come back. They have the ability to hurt you with the big play. Schleister, as we've seen, can throw the ball effectively. He can roll out of there. He can take what looks to be a certain loss and make it into a gain. And that's something that Big Ten teams, especially Ohio State, have not had in the past, and it's important when you're down.
I tell you what, we are aware of it in this area in Southern California. They start the season out here against UCLA early in the year, and they made a great fourth quarter comeback. And believe me, SC is aware of that. Last year against Michigan, I saw them sit on the lead. This year, I think they'll keep trying to score. They know they can come back on it.
10-0. Donnelly in motion. Nothing there at all for Calvin Murray as Myron Lapka greeted the junior from Woodbine, New Jersey, to the Pasadena Climbs.
Talked to Myron Lapka before the game. I said, are you excited? He said, yeah. He said, I missed the first one. I redshirted. Last year I had mononucleosis. I didn't know it. And this year I feel great. He looks great as he puts the tack on Murphy right there.
Second down, 9 at the 21 for the Buckeyes. As Williams and Donnelly, both with great speed, are wide left. Tight end Big Ron Barwick, 6'8" target. Schleister looking down the middle. There's Donnelly. First down at the 46 of Ohio State. Donnelly with those quick feet. His actions remind me a lot of Steve Largent, the way he makes his cuts off moving feet.
I'll tell you someone else that has quick feet, and that's Schleister. Schleister is not that fast in the open field, but he sets up quickly and watch the ball. So perfectly thrown, and it had to be right on target, or it might have been intercepted, could not have been caught. Big play. That's the kind of big plays that you come back with.
So far, Ohio State unable to move on the ground, but Schleister has thrown it well, and but for a drop pass, a fumble deep in SC territory, Ohio State might be in the lead at this point. Rick Volley, short yardage, close to midfield. Volley, senior from Lynchburg, Virginia. It'll be second down for the Buckeyes and 7.
I think the real difference in this game so far is down on the line of scrimmage. And I think it's in the physical superiority of the offensive and defensive fronts of these SC offensive defensive team. You've seen them run the ball effectively. Ohio State has not run it effectively. They've thrown it effectively. That's been their weakness so far in this game.
Donnelly in motion. Second and 6. Big hole, but short yardage as it closed in a hurry on Calvin Murray. Dennis Johnson, 6'4" senior, who migrated west from Flint, Michigan. Won All-America honors on the UPI ballot this year. 3rd and 3 for Ohio State. Tim Spencer, number 46, comes in from the Buckeye sidelines, and Murray goes out. Paul Campbell out for rest is back in for the Buckeyes.
You see Coach Hackett talking to Kevin and McDonald. I think they beat him bad now on the bomb, and I think you'll see him running a lot of stop patterns, a lot of hook patterns now. They got him respecting the deep threat.
SC defense digs in. There's Spencer, the youngster, to the first down, all the way to the 39-yard line before Joey Browner can make the tackle. Spencer, a high school All-American from St. Clairsville, Ohio. He admires Earl Campbell, he says. And, well, we've
I do too.
The world does, and I suppose there is a certain team in the Steel City that admires him so much they hope that he has an extended vacation early in this year. Yeah, we should say, on behalf of our colleague O.J. Simpson, must have been heartwarming for you to look through that Ohio State book and see how many players said the player they admired most was O.J. Simpson. There's Paul Campbell fighting forward. Tripp stayed on his feet to the 35-yard line.
All of a sudden, after talking about the lack of a running game, Ohio State has started to run the ball. I think they got the advantage on that last play, not this last one you saw, but the one ahead of that where they got the first down, of some anticipation. I think SC anticipated the pass. They played pass all the way, and they got burned. The Ohio State line doing a good job of blocking on that last play. Now you have a chance to do anything you want. You got a second and 6.5 yards to go.
Ty Hicks, the fastest Buckeye in motion, and the pitches this way to Calvin Murray. Caught by an ankle, struggles to the 31. That'll be short of the first down by a long yard. Larry McGrew with a tight grasp of the leg of Calvin Murray. Well, the key to this game thus far has been Ohio State unable to score on first and goal from the 2 and 3 shots from inside the 1 as SC's defense with a masterful goal line stand. Then USC came back after the fumble recovery on a completed pass to hit on the bomb. It's 10-0 SC, 5 minutes left in the first half. Short yardage play, and Murray is cut down and fumbles. USC, they say the ball was down. The runner was down, the ball dead, and Ohio State will maintain possession. But Dennis Smith, number 49, shot up from the secondary to make that tackle on Murray to stop him far short of the first down.
Even on the tough plays, there are some great things happening. Number 22, volley right there on Dennis Johnson, just knocked him clear off the line of scrimmage. Had it not been for that great play by Dennis Smith, you wouldn't have been able to stop him behind that line. Watch volley. Watch this block. That's as fine a block as you'll see. That's an all-American linebacker, and he's got a lot of poundage on volley. That's a big, big hit.
2-yard loss, though, and it's 4th and 3 as Schleister has the first down. Donnelly, 20-yard line. So it's Schleister to Donnelly again. Browner made the tackle. White Lightning has another reception.
Well, and again, the big play capability of Schleister, taking what looked to be an impossible situation there. He was getting pressure, got out to the outside, a little extra time, and Donnelly in isolation here knows how to find the open territory. Very quick feet and sure hands, soft hands. First down, a chance now to get it down closer to the end zone.
10-0 USC, first down from the 20. Campbell hit hard by Spencer hit hard by Ronnie Lott after a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. They feel that Lott will be the next defensive All-American for USC. From Pasadena, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. The 66th Rose Bowl game in Pasadena, California. 3.5 minutes remain in the first half. USC with a field goal and a long touchdown bomb. McConnell to Williams leads 10-0, but Ohio State has the ball. 2nd down and 8 at the 18 of Southern California. Schleister to throw. Incomplete. Dwelly, the tight end, a freshman from Sandusky, trying to make that fingertip catch. So Schleister kept it away from the defense. Almost a perfect throw, and he had very little room in which to fire that one.
I tell you, the way the game's going, this is the best field position that they can have because it's tougher to throw the ball, as Maryland can tell you, the closer you get to the end zone. They haven't had much success running the ball down there close, so as strange as it may sound, the best point on the field for their offense to be is right around the 20. They got good room to throw the ball, and because they've had so much problem running the ball, I don't think they want to get first in anything inside the 10.
I'm sure something sticking in the back of their minds right now is how tough they had at getting it in from the 1-yard line.
USC has called a timeout. 3rd and 8 Ohio State at the Trojan 18-yard line. When we come back, 3:19 left first half. Ohio State trying to get on the board.
Saturday on NBC, college basketball's best battle it out in exciting regional action. Telecasts include the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Tennessee Vols, Iona against the Georgetown Hoyas, and USC versus Oregon State. Check local listings for the game in your area.
Yeah, the promise promises to be another exciting college basketball year. Already has been. We'll be joining Al McGuire and Billy Packard a week from Sunday. We'll be on the campus of Purdue University. Syracuse at Purdue, and it all starts Saturday and Sunday, beginning this coming Saturday.
Got 3 wide receivers.
Third down, 8 for Schleister. Incomplete to Ty Hicks. Not quite enough time. Hicks was open deep as he slipped around Jeff Fisher, number 40. But it appears the Buckeyes will bring on the field goal unit.
Ty Hicks is the fastest man on this Buckeye squad. He's working on a man with an injured ankle, and he actually has him beaten. But that delay in getting around cost him a chance at the football.
So it'll be Vlade Anakievsky from Columbus, Ohio. He has set the Ohio State records for scoring and in field goals. Heisman Trophy balloting, and Schleister right there with Paul McDonald to finish 6th. Anakievsky, a 35-yard attempt. Castagnola, backup quarterback, does a good job of saving it. High enough, long enough, and Ohio State has scored. Anakievsky missed only 3 of 18 all year. He comes through on his first opportunity today. Timeout. 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the first half. USC's lead is cut to 10-3. Bob Atha tees it up at the 40 for Ohio State. Michael Hayes, Raymond Butler deep for USC. 10-3, the Trojans lead it. 3 minutes left in the half. Good kick. Butler at the goal line. The 10. Down at the 15. Slip trying to make the cut, but good coverage nevertheless by the Buckeyes. Number 14, Brian Schwartz, is from Simi Valley, California, nearby. 10-3 USC in this Rose Bowl Classic. Elsewhere on this January 1st. At the Cotton Bowl, it was 17-14. Houston beat Nebraska.
Let's look at Glenn Cobb, number 35. We talked about headhunters earlier. You see him going right over the top of one of the Trojans. He won't give him a chance. Hitting right in there, actually stacking up the wedge. And it was a slip, I think, more than anything, that stopped that run back.
Flag is down, and we may have had contact by Tim Sawicki, number 68, as he lurched forward. He may have hit one of the SC offensive linemen. Yes. 5 yards against Ohio State. First penalty of the game.
And it's an easy one, too. Sawicki excited. He wants to get a piece of that center, and did, unfortunately, a little too early.
Well, he had to take advantage of that quickness. I don't think he really wants too much of a piece of him. I think he realized he's being outweighed. If he can't outquick him, he has no chance.
You know, Chris Foote was married, I guess, in this last year, and they said it's the biggest wedding they've ever seen because all of the offensive linemen of USC were part of the wedding entourage. A big wedding. Rakshani on that zap action, and here comes Charles White. It's about 4 to the 24 and stops the clock with 3:02 left in the half.
Very important right here for Ohio State's defense to get things stopped, to take that football away. Their offense able to move the ball successfully down the field and get some points on the board. Now they'd like to get a turnover. They'd like to stop SC, force them to punt right here, or even better, get a turnover, get some points on the board themselves.
Second down, and call it 2, a short 2. Allen in fullback, White the tailback. Kevin Williams flank to the right. White stopped, but I believe he has the first down. It's going to be close, shy of the 26-yard line. Number 65, Keith Ferguson, with a tackle. Speaking of Charles White, let's look at the Heisman balloting once again. Well, you're going to see Mr. Billy Sims in Oklahoma on the Orange Bowl that will follow this telecast.
2 interesting things I see there, Dick. 3 of the top 6 college players in the country in this game, and Schleister's 4th place finish, the highest ever for a sophomore.
Vegas Ferguson and Notre Dame in that 3rd spot. Raymond Butler with Williams in the slot. A lot of speed wide right for McDonald. On first down, he keeps it on the ground to Marcus Allen. Marcus Merrick of Ohio State made the tackle.
Dick, I alluded to the fact earlier that it's tough to play against people who are taller and bigger than you are in that defensive line. The thing that happens to you is that they get locked up on you, and you really can't see where the ball carrier is. A guy goes by you, you don't know whether he's got the ball or not. And a lot of times when they're using a dive action with one man carrying the ball and another man coming off the other side, you almost have to take the first guy and tackle him. They did it right there. Unfortunately, he didn't have the ball, and made some good yardage.
2nd and 6. White again. Tremendously quick start of his. He's short of the first down by a yard. Well, let's take it to the other side then, O.J. It is true then that backs hide behind their blockers and then see that opening and try to put on that extra step. That you do try to shield yourself visually from the defense as well as physically.
Yeah, that's part of it. The best thing about having those huge offensive linemen is the defensive back is coming up worrying about that pulling guard. I used to love Reggie McKenzie because he was 6'4" and had a lot of speed, and those defensive backs are worried about him and they're not looking at me.
3rd and 1. Clock running down to 1:30 left in the half. SC improving its field position. And White has another first down and more. Breaks it free. 45-50. And now he has blockers. Fumbles. And Ohio State recovers. Todd Bell made the tackle. Jim Laughlin recovered the fumble. But it was Bell hustling out of nowhere. Caught White and forced the fumble from behind.
Dick Sawicki had left the ball game with an injury. They'd put a man in his place, and they came right at, I think it was Mark Sullivan in there. Marcus Merrick had a shot at White, but what a tremendous play. Todd Bell has been the man of the hour for this OSU defense. Watch it right there. Chops the ball out of White's hand, and Laughlin, number 5, their MVP, there to pick it up.
So Todd Bell denies USC, and White a long gain toward a possible added score. And with 1:18 left in this first half, it's Ohio State with the football, trailing the Trojans 10-3. Charles White rips off a 45-yard run. Appeared he may go for a touchdown, but Todd Bell not only saved the touchdown with his tackle, but turned it over. And Ohio State with the football at its 19-yard line with 1:18 left in the half. And Schleister going to put it up again. Incomplete. Well covered was his intended target. We have a flag down, and apparently we're going to have a penalty against Ricky Gray of USC. Calvin Murray was the intended receiver.
You still cannot bump that receiver before the ball arrives. And Schleister, I think, held on to that ball a little longer than he was supposed to. The pattern was there. Ricky Gray, anticipating the pass, moved in to make the interception, knock it away.
Let's go back to the play made by Todd Bell, and you describe it for us, O.J.
He's out in the open. He has a guy to his left that he's trying to outrun. He doesn't even see Bell at all. Bell does a great job of stripping the ball. When he went up there too, making fumble, too stripping of the ball. Now he had Rockshani behind him, and Rockshani. Well, let's go back to the action here.
Schleister wrapped up at the 20-yard line, couldn't unload as Charles Ussery from Long Beach, California. That is a deputy police chief, and he put the shackles on Schleister. It'll be 2nd and 14.
Oh, Jay, that's some kind of speed from Bell to run White down in the open field and knock that ball out of his hands.
Yes, it is, because White has very good speed. He's not a track man. I think Bell has some track experience.
9.7 speed. And he was the man who broke Jesse Owens' long jump record. He can go.
Super athlete.
The big play here. 2nd, about 13, 14 yards to go.
Yeah, they're going to play it safe now with time running out. Although Murray breaks out of the pack and is out of bounds out at the 34-yard line, close to the first down. Stops the clock with exactly 30 seconds left in this first half. Just to quickly summarize for you, USC had the best early opportunity. On 4th and 1 inside the Ohio State 5, they went for it, did not go for the field goal, and Ohio State stopped them. Then eventually Eric Hipp connected on a 41-yard field goal to make it 3-0. Ohio State came back in a 53-yard pass play from Schleister to Williams, had 1st and goal at the 2 of SC, and SC stopped them on a marvelous goal line stand. And then a 53-yard touchdown pass, McDonald to Kevin Williams, gave USC a 10-0 lead before a 35-yard field goal by Onikiewski. 30 seconds left. Schleister going long. Williams open, 25, 20, 15, 10, touchdown. Oh, my. A stunning play. Gary Williams drifting behind the defense. I don't think he can outrun Schleister's passes.
What a tremendous play. There's just no way to anticipate that. You've got to believe he's going for a percentage play. He's going for the home run. And they get behind Kenny Moore, number 43. He's the closest man. But when you give a fast sprinter like Williams that football and give him a little room, He's not going to be stopped before he gets into that end zone. What a big turnaround here in the last 40 seconds of this first half.
I tell you, it's got to be a lift for Ohio State. They've been outplayed in the first half. They'll go in at a halftime tie. Believe me, they'll come out with, they should have the momentum coming out in the second half.
Anakievsky trying for the tie. He's got it. A new game at 10 with 21 seconds left in the half. And how about the average catch by Gary Williams? 2 receptions averaging 60 per catch. Emotionally, we talked about the goal line stand and how that had to drain from Ohio State and lift USC. But how about that offensive lightning by the Buckeyes? What does that do for the two teams going into the locker room?
With time running out, defensively, you say, we don't give them anything cheap. Give them a short shot, let them run the ball out if they want to. But if we have to, we line up 25, 30 yards down the field. I'm sure there are going to be some conversations on that SC sideline because you cannot allow those receivers to get behind you in this situation. And also give Schleister and his man some credit. That's a powerful pass and some great receiving there by number 44 Williams. And look at him put it on right there. Puts on that burst and carries it into the end zone. That is a real lift before the half.
I tell you something. I know USC's strategy. I was talking to Mark Gu, one of the defensive coaches. He said they want to give them the short stuff. We'll let them run. We don't think they can beat us that way. The only way they can beat us is with the big play, and that's what we're practicing to stop. Not working.
8th of the kickoff, and hits it well. Michael Hayes at the goal line for USC. At the 10, at the 20, and down at the 23-yard line. Well, we have the color and the music and the festivities of halftime for you at the Rose Bowl, and a reminder after Ohio State and USC decide the outcome of this one. Later this evening or this afternoon, wherever you may be, it'll be the Orange Bowl. All that pageantry and color from Miami, Florida, as the unbeaten Seminoles of Florida State take on the University of Oklahoma. That's a running team against a passing club. Should be another great match tonight on NBC. Marcus Allen drives it out to the 31-yard line, and that may be the last play of the half. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. USC build a 10-0 lead into the second quarter. A 35-yard field goal and a 67-yard bomb, and Ohio State leads the field even with USC. Halftime at the Rose Bowl. The Trojans 10, the Buckeyes 10. We'll be right back with all the 1980 Rose Bowl halftime activities after these messages from your local station. Halftime, and the Ohio State Buckeyes, with a lightning quick touchdown throw from Schleister to Williams, have tied USC's Trojans at 10 at the intermission. This is the University of Southern California marching band. Their theme, the land of make-believe, Southern California, Chuck Mangione style. And as they make this formation, the music is The Rose from the 20th Century Fox release of the same name. USC marching band will now form a figure-8 concert formation. Play the Barbra Streisand Donna Summer hit, Enough is Enough. Appropriate to the defensive problems SC faced trying to stop Schleister as he came from 10-0 down to tie USC at the half. Southern California Marching Band. Let's visit that fine campus here in Southern California. University of Southern California.
Part of California's success story. Here's the Trojan Marching Band.
University of Southern California band collaborated with Fleetwood Mac. This number, Tusk. Southern California Percussion Center. Tusk, T-U-S-K became T-U-S-C, Tusk. Now the Trojan Band with its finale in a precision circle spiral drill formation. Music from the Paramount movie Star Trek.
But for them, this fantasy lies a real hope for the future.
University of Southern California Marching Band, an excellent presentation, and in a few moments we'll enjoy the music and marching from the famed University of Ohio State Buckeye Band. Big year for NBC this 1980, and of course part of our sports story on this network will be the coverage of the Olympic Games in Moscow. The 1980 Games are just around the corner. NBC, as a part of its celebration of bringing that event, presents now this Olympic moment. Back at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, we're at halftime. The University of Southern California and the Ohio State Buckeyes are tied at 10 at the intermission. The Ohio State Marching Band performs. A sensational drum major will keep our eyes on Dwight Hudson. this Ohio State band. Interestingly, both universities selecting music written by Chuck Mangione. Now music written by Leonard Bernstein. The West Side Story is a backdrop to this visit to Ohio State University, a university proud to be a leader. Put a one on either side of that large double circle and you've got the score. 10-10 at halftime. And upcoming a special treat. Mr. Hudson has won the favor of this large audience of over 100,000 fans. Now the famed Script, Ohio. This musical milestone was first performed in 1936. Has now become the signature of this outstanding band. They'll first form Ohio State's Block O, and then drum major Hudson will lead a single line advancement, tracing the letters so that the formation appears to be written by a giant pen. And ultimately the letter I dotted by a senior sousaphone player. That's Doug Wendell from New Albany, Ohio. Here they come, Ohio. Blessed in this profession to be able to do so many exciting things. You love sports, you're able to talk about them and see the big events, but when I was finally asked to be able to do my first Rose Bowl, this is a privilege to be here. This is a great event. It's a happening every year, January 1st in Pasadena. We're pleased to share it with you. And the committee responsible, the football committee for this game, and all of those who worked so hard, so feverishly in the entire presentation of the Tournament of Roses from parade through game are to be commended heartily. There is no other January 1st quite like the one you can spend in Pasadena, California. Intricate maneuver, especially with the two O's. A lot of block letters, but to make those beautiful O's is something in itself. And now the honor to the sousaphone player was let out to dot the I. Thank you, USC. Thank you, Ohio State, for an outstanding halftime show. It's 10-10 at halftime, and this 1980 Rose Bowl game is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, who invite you to see our 1980 models and compare Chrysler engineering to any other cars. By IBM Office Products Division. By Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial. It eliminates winter tire changeover. Ready for the second half in Pasadena. The 66th Rose Bowl game is tied at halftime. USC, Ohio State, even at 10. Back at the Rose Bowl, it was a beautiful day, 70 degrees, filmy clouds overhead. There were some great highlights in that first half to get it to 10-10 USC and Ohio State. Of course, the biggest of all, with last minute a 14-point turnaround. It appeared that Charles White was going for a touchdown one way, hit from behind, fumbled, and it went the other way along Schleister bomb to tie it.
There were a couple of very brilliant plays early, though. This one is a fourth down situation. They're going for it all, and Guess, number 12, Mike Guess, just stripped the ball away from Rakshani. That's one of the fine plays we saw early. SC now a chance to score. The ball kicked very well by Eric Hipp. Notice how high he got that football. Good start for SC as they put 3 points on the board.
That was a 41-yarder to make it 3-0, and then Ohio State moving the ball well. Schleister looking for a man we'd hear from again later. Williams deep downfield, finally tackled at the 2-yard line, and then USC stopped Ohio State 4 tries from the 2, 3 from inside the 1. So Ward's tackle was a saving touchdown. Later Ward was to have been beaten by Williams, and Ohio State was to score in the final seconds of the half to tie the game at 10.
What looked to be a sure touchdown turned into no points, as Ohio State also elected to go for all of the points rather than take the field goal. Turned away by that brilliant goal line stand. But we couldn't ask for anything more. 10-10 at halftime, a beautiful day. They've got it teed up and they're ready.
Ohio State will receive. Rob Kerr kicks it off. He hits a sidewinder that comes down short at the 20, 25 into the 30-yard line. For Ohio State goes number 57, John Hutchings, a junior from Fremont, Ohio. Let's look at the first half statistics and any comment, Merlin Olsen, that you might see in those numbers.
Well, the numbers are amazingly similar. In fact, you look down, the only thing you don't see in those stats is that SC has been able to move the ball consistently, and that Ohio State has made their statistics on big plays. That's the difference in the first half. Statistically, other than that, it's almost identical.
What are you pointing to, O.J. Simpson?
No, I was just looking at those passing statistics by Ohio State. I would think over 100 of those yards came from 2 passes.
120 did from those 2 to Williams. But it is, as we pointed out, a different Ohio State team that visits the West on this January 1st. Schleister is one of his options, and he keeps the ball to the 37-yard line, a gain of almost 8 yards. Dennis Edwards, number 70, led the charge of the Trojans. Back to the first half.
We wanted to show you one more of the big plays in the first half, just before the half. Everyone in the house saying, well, they're going to play it safe, or would they go for the bomb? And right here, they got it. They not only went for it, they got it. What a big turnaround. Actually, almost a 14-point turnaround if you look at it. That made the game. That sent them in. Now they're out here. They'd like to get driving down the field. They'd like to get another score. If they can get one here, they really do gain the emotional edge in this game.
USC had the 10-0 lead in the second quarter, and that was also with the goal line stand by the Trojans. But number 10, Schleister has his team with 10. Quick hitter by Murray, but just as it appeared he might break loose, Joey Browner, the freshman, number 47, makes the hit out at the 41-yard line. It is a first down, Ohio State. You were commenting at the intermission, O.J., that this game offers some deja vu as far as your reflections.
I can't believe it. You know, back in 1969, my last game against Ohio State, we came in the game undefeated with 1 tie. SC does this year. Ohio State was number 1, undefeated. They had a sophomore quarterback. We went ahead 10-0. I mean, you know, it's almost like a carbon copy of that game.
You got some cardiac arrest over there.
Paul Campbell, gain of about 3 out to the 44, Dennis Johnson. USC's leading tackler each of the last 3 seasons, number 56, up off the bottom of the pile. Schleister, just a sophomore, but gentlemen, as we watch him in the first half, you really have to look back through. He carries himself and plays like a senior.
Well, I tell you, I think he's going to change a little tradition at Ohio State. When Coach Robinson came to SC, everyone knew he was a passing coach, and we thought we'd lose the tradition of the great tailback. He's been able to maintain that, but I think with Schleister in the backfield, they're going to have to become a passing team in the next couple of years.
And he's back to throw. Under pressure from Banks. Dumps it off to Murray. And it's a first down at the USC 45-yard line. Calvin Murray, he was the third leading receiver for the Buckeyes this year with 17. And Schleister took a pop in the process.
We talked about the poise of Paul McDonald, the SC quarterback. Watch Schleister. One of the tests of a quarterback, will he hang on to the ball until the last second? He does it right there. He pays the price, but I think he'll willingly pay that price for a reception and a first down.
And he's a big, strong kid. I don't think he's worried about it too much. He didn't pay any attention to the guy tackling him. He watched the ball all the way.
Interesting statistic. 2 minutes into the third quarter, Schleister already with 200 yards passing. First down at the SC 45. That's Donnelly in motion. Murray up the middle. Gets 5, maybe 6. To the 39 of USC before Chip Banks can make the tackle. Missed last year's Rose Bowl game, did Banks? Dennis Johnson also in on the play for the Trojans. It looks like a different Ohio State team that had to do nothing but help them as they chatted with Earl Bruce at the intermission.
I was thinking right before they got their last touchdown that going in just 7 points down after this first half, after being outplayed, would be a lift to them. Turned out they went in tied.
That's the real jackpot for Bruce, and now he's trying to take the lead for the first time. 2nd and 5. That's Ty Hicks. He can motor. And he vaults all the way to the USC 27-yard line. First down, Ohio State.
Looked like the ball was stripped away as Hicks hit the sideline. Some of the SC players saying they should have had it. Little reverse here. Take it into the line of scrimmage. Schleister hands it off to Hicks, who's going the other way. And Hicks shows him his heels. Let's watch and see if that ball is stripped away. Yes, indeed, it was right there on the sideline. But the ball kept in the hands of OSU. They're down on about the 26-yard line, 27-yard line, driving it on in. Boy, they'd love to have this touchdown.
Remember again, SC stopped Ohio State. First and goal from the 2. Donnelly in the slot. Williams, the touchdown maker, is wide right. Schleister up the middle to Murray. And with the respect that Schleister has gained for his aerial game, now some of those running holes are opening up.
Amazing how a little bit of successful passing will make room for some running, and how a little successful running will make room for some passing. They really do complement each other. On that last play, Dennis Johnson back there in the backfield, his linebacking spot, looking for somebody to come through there. Finally picked him out, but you can see there was some confusion as to who had that ball. Ernie Andrea, number 69, doing a good job of keeping him off the ball carrier. Ricky Gray, number 35, made the tackle.
2nd and 4, and Schleister looking, and he threw that one away. He short-hopped it. His man was well covered. Rick Foley, number 22. Banks was pressuring Schleister. And he apparently has learned that lesson very quickly in life, that if a man is well covered, doesn't look as if you can get anything out of it, maybe a risk, drop it at the feet of that receiver.
We showed you some stats earlier. Schleister in his rookie year, his freshman year, had 21 interceptions and about the same number of touchdowns. He got a few more this year from the running game as well as the passing game, but only 5 interceptions on the year this year. And that was the big change in his play, maturity.
9th play coming up in this opening drive of the second half. Ohio State, USC tied at 10. It's 3rd and 4. Schleister on the keeper. He sees a lot of white. Dennis Edwards leading that Southern California defense. Number 70 also into the play. 90 Brad Streelman.
Well, as we stated earlier, that's SC's philosophy. On that option play, they want to force him to keep the ball and try to rough him up. But Ohio State has done something on that drive, which all offensive teams try to do. On first down, you want to get 5 or 6 yards, and you have 2 downs, and the defense has a tremendous amount of pressure on them with 2 downs to get those 4 yards, and they were successful at it. Fortunately for SC, they stopped the drive. But if they make this field goal, tremendous amount of momentum to Ohio State.
37-yard try by Onikiewski. Hits it well, and Ohio State takes the lead. Onikiewski, 15 out of 18 for the year, 2 for 2 today, and for the first time, the Scarlet and Gray of Ohio State is in the lead. 4 minutes gone in the second half. Buckeyes 13, Trojans 10. Ohio State leads for the first time in this Rose Bowl, 13-10. 10 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And USC about to have offensive possession for the first time in this half.
He kicked the spiral out of that hole.
He did. Butler took it to the 25, the 26, and he swarmed upon at the 26-yard line. Don't forget, fans, after this one from Pasadena, I know Merlin and I enjoyed thoroughly our experience last year down Miami at the Orange Bowl, and they've got a dandy waiting. Florida State, unbeaten, likes to put the ball in the air against that wishbone attack of the University of Oklahoma. Merlin Olsen, O.J. Simpson, Dick Enberg here at the Rose Bowl, and we've got a nice way of starting 1980. You said it, O.J.
Yeah.
Not a bad way to start it all.
What a beautiful way to start it. We've had all the excitement in the world early in this ball game, and it's not over yet. SC now said, hey, you took your first one down, got 3. We'll take ours down, get something too.
Charles White, who had a big first half, knocked back and still on his feet. Well, that's like a man taking a right cross, staggering across the ring and refusing to go down.
That was number 65, Keith Ferguson, a linebacker. Ferguson, interesting case. He was a starting offensive tackle last year, but watch the hit. White doing a great job of accelerating right there with the helmet. I think Charles didn't know what hit him momentarily.
But again, the balance demonstrated by that young man is just fantastic. Second down 4. Michael Hayes in the backfield in motion. McDonald dumps it off, incomplete. Marcus Allen, he won't drop many like that, right on the letters. But you know that feeling. Even you dropped one. I think it was about 10 years ago you dropped one.
I've dropped a few, believe me. What it is, as a runner, you just want to get running. And you're not concentrating on the ball coming to you in the air, and you're thinking about faking a guy before you get the ball. And I'm sure that's what was on his mind at that time.
You surprised so far, Merlin? What's happened here today?
I think not surprised, because I think the emotional factor, the little extra that Ohio State has emotionally has given them an edge in this ball game. I don't think there's any question that SC has demonstrated that they have the physical edge, but I think Ohio State has had the emotional edge.
Kevin Williams, who has a touchdown, is to the left, and McDonald going deep the other way to Garcia, and he stayed in bounds. What a play at the 43-yard line. Garcia leaping in the air and still getting his toes in the field of play before tumbling out of bounds.
Just an outstanding play. McDonald again showing us his poise and maturity under pressure. Waits until the last second, and that ball couldn't have been another foot further, or the ball would not have been caught. Watch the feet now. Only needs one in. Had one out, but did have one in. Successful reception. First down. They're in Ohio State territory.
26-yard gain. First down at the 43. Both wide receivers to the left. White goes the other way to the Ohio State 40-yard line. Mark Sullivan, 5'9". Well, he must feel like he's in the land of the Sequoias playing into that offensive line of the University of Southern California.
We saw Sawicki get hurt earlier. Looked like he hurt his leg a little bit. He has not returned to the ball game, and they put a youngster in there, and he's going to have his work cut out for him.
This is only the second time this year that Southern California has been behind this late in the third quarter. The other at LSU, and they rallied to win that one at Baton Rouge. 3 men to the left. McDonald in trouble, and he can't unload it. 97, the little guy playing big. Mark Sullivan gets the sack.
We just talked about Mark Sullivan. He's just a sophomore. He must have anticipated that snap count. Watch how quick he gets off here. He gets Chris Foote, number 62, going backwards. Foote has no chance. That's a Fran Tarkenton move by McDonald there, but it didn't pay off. He was able to get a hold of him. Sullivan puts him on the ground.
First sack of the game. O.J., as they lined up, Charles White came out to the left almost tentatively, as if maybe he thought he should have been to the right. It appeared that play got off poorly.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to go in motion and set up, and McDonald told him at the last minute to set up over there. I guess he just missed the call.
Third down and long, and McDonald looks long. Stead goes short to Allen, 50, 40, 30, and he's down to the 28-yard line.
Big play.
First down USC. They needed to get to the 33, and Allen goes to the 29. 26-yard play. That's the second in this drive.
You've got to be able to take what the defense gives you. McDonald looks deep, realizes they're covered, and dumps the ball off. They're just hoping to get a short gain out of that play, but as often happens, when you can give a running back the football in the short territory with the defense spread, he makes big yardage.
Now McDonald hit Garcia for 26 yards, then the sack, and he comes right back and gets 26 yards to Marcus Allen. First down at the 29. And Charles White to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 6.
O.J., are they still running the same plays now that they ran when you were tailback for SC?
Oh, yes, they are. It's basically the same thing. John McKay, as I was stating earlier, he put in the 28 blast back about 18 years ago, and it's still their basic bread and butter play, and why shouldn't it when you're averaging 7.7 yards a carry on it?
Raymond Butler, far right. Kevin Williams is in the slot. Allen and White behind McDonald, 2nd and 6. McDonald looking for Williams. Incomplete. Well covered. Mike Guess was helping out short, and Skillings, 48, came over to play him deep.
Dick, that was a case where McDonald rolling out had all kinds of room. And I think if he had been Schleister, he would have taken off and run with the football. But McDonald is not a running quarterback and loses some dimension because of that.
Another glimpse eye view of the Rose Bowl. She hovers overhead to bring us aerial views of the Buckeyes and Trojans today. Captures some of this spectacle in Pasadena. Well, what a sight. We walked in here, hardly anyone in the bowl early this morning after seeing the parade. What a sight. McDonald trying to find Williams, but he's covered well by Ray Ellis, number 27. That brings up 4th down and 6. So after first down carry by White for 4 yards, 2 incomplete passes, and now USC will try to tie it up as number 10 Eric Hipp into the ball game.
Be a long field goal, about a 47-yarder.
That would be his longest of the year, Merlin.
He does have a leg to do that, Dick, but he hasn't been consistent with it.
You know, you made mention early in the game that Ohio State had a superior kicking game, and it may show here.
Actually, it's just 42 yards, and he's got it on the way. It is no good. Wide to the left. But a flag is down, and it appears that they may have run into the kicker. Skillings, 48, trying to block the field goal. Guilty of the foul. USC maintains possession, and the Cardinal and gold cheer across the way.
The new rule this year in college football, that'll be an automatic first down. It carries a big 15-yard penalty. FC, who wouldn't have had the 3, now may have a chance to go for the 7.
Here's what happened.
Watch Hipp as he gets the kick away. Now you can't rough either kicker or holder, and there's the hit right on the back of the legs of Eric Hipp, and there's no play acting there. He was knocked down. To defend Skillings, who was coming for all he was worth, he was actually blocked into Hipp, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You got to stay off the kicker and off the holder.
First down USC at the Ohio State 12-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Here comes White. And he charges close to the 7-yard line. A pickup of nearly 5 on first down.
You know, that's something you want to look for in a great back. No matter how hard he gets hit, generally White will fall forward. And that's what a back is. A coach is always trying to teach a back. You know, people talk about his size. I've heard people talk about Tony Dorsett's size. But Tony Dorsett, watch him here. He gets hit pretty good. Spins and he's falling forward. I see Tony Dorsett break as many tackles as a Earl Campbell or Walter Payton. And he's much smaller than those two guys. I see White do the same thing.
Dorsett number 1 all time, and White number 2 in NCAA history running the football. He only gets a yard that time, and that'll bring up 3rd down and call it 4. He's at the 6-yard line. Good defensive surge by the Scarlet of Ohio.
At about the same point on the field where they made their goal line stand earlier, forced SC into a 4th down decision. SC went for the 7 instead of the 3 and were denied. I wonder if it gets down to a 4th down, what John Robinson will choose to do here.
Well, they say hindsight is 20/20, but somehow you had the feeling when they didn't go for the field goal, and when Ohio State in the same position didn't go for the field goal, that somehow it would loom big later on.
3 tight ends in the game, Brenner, Hunter, and Rakshani in motion. 3rd and 4 from McDonald. Complete, and a flag is down at the 1-yard line. In the end zone is the flag. Number 85, Hunter, caught the ball at the 1. Is it against the offense or defense in the end zone?
Maybe a blocking penalty on the offense.
If it's against the offense, it's a costly foul because it's a turnover.
Oh,
it is. Oh, and they'll turn the ball over on the 20-yard line if it's in the end zone.
It was in the end zone, and Ohio State gets the ball at the 20-yard line. I don't think they realize it yet.
What a costly penalty.
If it's ruled in the end zone, and that's where the flag was dropped, it's Ohio State's ball at the 20, and that's the signal being given by the referee. Earl Bruce doesn't realize it. That's like finding money.
Now, here goes the offensive team onto the field, and look at that. Look at the excitement along that sideline for Ohio State. What a costly penalty that is for SC, as they don't even have the chance to try the field goal now.
Offensive interference is the most difficult of all penalties in the college game, and here is a classic example of SC given life by the penalty on the field goal try, then is guilty of a push in the end zone, which carries an automatic touchback possession to the defending team at the 20. I'm out to assimilate the pain of that one for John Robinson. It's 13-10 Ohio State. We have less than 6 minutes remaining, third quarter. Hope you'll stay with us. Florida State, Oklahoma to follow this one from the Rose Bowl. Here's that controversial call in the end zone.
Number 80, Rockshani. Now he goes into the end zone. He can't block and knock those people. He actually hit 27, Ray Ellis, and just barely as he got into the end zone.
First carry by Murray gets only 2 yards. We want to thank, especially now, the officiating crew. It's a split crew from the Pac-10 and Big Ten. Gene Calhoun, the referee, Duke Dornan, the umpire, Robert Walker, the head linesman, Jack Roberts, the line judge, Charles Weigel, the field judge, and Dan Ingreen, the back judge, because they took time yesterday at length to explain to Merlin and myself the differences between the rules of professional rules and collegiate rules, and this is one of the things Mr. Calhoun very carefully went through with us. And wouldn't you know it, that penalty arises today in this game and could be a call that's written and talked about considerably from this day on.
But as you can see from the replay, Rockshani was indeed guilty of pushing that defender.
You disagree, O.J.?
Well, it was tough, but he did extend his arms, which I don't think he can do.
Whoops. Calvin Murray trying to catch the ball and head upfield. That's a tough one because you misjudge the timing of the pass. You're trying to get it moved quickly, incomplete.
One of the things that Schleister has problems with is the soft pass, and that's part of the maturity that he has yet to gain. He's used to rifling the ball. I think he wanted to throw that one easy, surprised the receiver. He wanted the zipper.
He looked at me like he started to run, and then at the last minute threw the ball and didn't adjust his feet. It looked like he tried to throw it all arm in the wrong direction.
So it's third down and a long 8. Ohio State leading USC 13-10 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Here goes Schleister to the air. Sidelines pass and a first down to Gary Williams. Williams, who has 2 long bombs, and now they short out, and a flag is down. Larry McGrew, 57, made the hit for USC. A flag down at the tackle. That could be against SC, face mask, and they'll tack on some more. And suddenly, those yellow flags become very important in that last sequence, remember. The missed field goal by USC, but the penalty against Ohio State for running into the kicker, and then SC loses it back on the offensive interference in the end zone, and now 15 yards for face mask.
Dick, if we can go back and see that play right at the line of scrimmage, SC was having a lot of trouble. They're going to mark off to 15. That's a personal foul, 15 yards. Quickly, let's look at it. SC have flip-flops the defense, and they hadn't finished flip-flopping. You saw Lapka try to get over to the side. There was some confusion as to where the strength of the defense was. Now watch the face mask right there. You saw him tackling with the mask on Williams on the sideline. Nice pass by Schleister again. He has thrown the ball consistently all day. There it is, double hand in the mask.
McGrew with a bulldog tackle and a 15 yards takes it out to the 47 of Ohio State. Little draw to Murray, read well by SC, tackle forward to the 50. Myron Lapka, number 96, 57 McGrew on the tackle. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, O.J. Simpson from Pasadena's Rose Bowl. The USC Trojans jumped into the 10-0 lead into the second quarter. Ohio State tied it at 10-10 on a remarkable turnaround as it appeared that Charles White was going to go for a long touchdown fumble when hit from behind. Ohio State got the long pass bomb away in the final seconds of the half to tie it at 10-10. A field goal by Ohio State here in the third quarter has given Ohio State its first lead of the game, and now an unusual offensive interference call in the end zone has cost USC the ball. Ohio State driving into SC territory at the 47-yard line, looks at third down and 3.
One thing you surely don't want to do is lose your poise. And right now, some of the SC players look like they're popping a little bit out there. You see that too, OJ?
Yeah, you know, they got everything going against them now, and they are losing their poise a little bit. They're getting a little hot-headed now. They're going to have to simmer down to try to get back into this game.
Reverse to Ty Hicks. But he doesn't make it. Hit at the 45-yard line, and you saw the superb lateral pursuit talent of that SC defense. Lapka at 6'4" and 245, running right with those little backs.
You know, it's unusual. Normally when you're beating a team up front, and I think SC on both lines is still beating Ohio State, you're winning the football game. But Ohio State is, if there's a such thing as out athletic, they're athletes on their team, especially those 4 guys in the defensive secondary, and of course the quarterback Schleicher are making the big plays for Ohio State. So right now the difference in the game is I think Ohio State is showing a little better athletic ability in the skill position.
Tom Morris into punt. He only kicked once in the first half. It was a 46-yarder. Hits that one well toward the end zone. That's going to go in. Almost dropped it in the donut hole in that big O of Ohio. First down, USC at the 20-yard line. Timeout with 2 minutes 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Buckeyes lead the Trojans 13-10. Possible national title at stake.
Sunday, the heavy-hitting Houston Oilers face Terry Bradshaw, John Stallworth, and the awesome Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game Sunday on NBC.
Merlin and I will be there on Sunday in Pittsburgh. Hope you'll join us. First down, USC at the 20-yard line. Charles White with an excellent second effort. Stopped at the 20 and ducked into the 23-yard line. Now, before the games today, there was a split vote. The AP had Ohio State 1, Alabama 2, SC 3, and you'll see Florida State, Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. UPI had Bama on top. Bama has defeated Arkansas, then USC, Ohio State, and Florida State, Oklahoma. So there's going to be some interesting choices made after this one. Bama has won against Arkansas. Houston beat Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl. Oh, what a pass by McDonald, leading White on the dead run, and it's a first down at the 31-yard line. You just can't throw that swing pass any better.
I tell you, Dick, that's the toughest pass to throw for a quarterback, and it's a tough pass to judge as a halfback, and he put it right on the money. That was very nice.
That's just a dart to White.
He also has time to work back there. He could have gone deep if he wanted to, but I think he wanted to spread that defense and give it to the best runner on the field, Charles White. White knew what to do with it, got the first down.
Freshman Marcus Merrick chased down White. First down at the USC 31. Minute and a half left, third quarter. 13-10 Ohio State. Charles White hit from behind and dropped for a loss by Mark Sullivan, 97. Again, he's only 5'9", 212. He's dwarfed by that huge offensive line, but he's made 2 big plays for losses.
He is a prototype Middle 10, Big 10 nose guard, though. Small and chalky, and he gets underneath those blocks. Watching there, they're trying to hook him with the center foot, 62. He just split out of there, showed fine speed. He's running against Charles White, leaps out there, got his hands on White's feet, tripped him up, loss on the play, second long.
Kevin Williams out of your picture to the left. He's to the right. Garcia to the left and looking for Garcia. McDonald fires and hits him. 45, 50, 40, and down to the 38-yard line goes Danny Garcia. Oh, there's an interesting story. Garcia was not drafted out of high school except by one school, Linfield College of Oregon. So he went to junior college, was the JC reception leader, and then to USC.
Recruited out of college. He was covered real well on that play, but he's a mark of a good receiver. Will scramble when he sees his quarterback is in trouble, and he came back to the quarterback, scrambled a little bit, caught the pass, and did a fine job of running after he got the ball.
Let's give Marcus Allen some credit. Had he not kept the linebacker, Laughlin, away from the quarterback, he wouldn't have had time to throw that pass.
Allen is an outstanding blocker, and he gets the handoff straight ahead to the 37-yard line. Allen has done so well, and this is really first full year at fullback, that some of the talks about him taking over for White's job at tailback, they say, gee, we'd almost like to keep you right at fullback the way you've blocked and carried the ball from that position.
Well, but I think they'll recall a man named Ricky Bell who played fullback for Anthony Davis one year, and he moved back to tailback and did all right.
All right is the understatement. The end of the third quarter of this Rose Bowl Classic, and the Ohio State Buckeyes are in the lead. The score as we go to the fourth period, Buckeyes 13, Trojans 10. NBC and the United States Olympic Committee also would like to remind you that the USJCs need 50,000 volunteers to help on Olympic Gold Medal Day. That's April 26th. We'll give you more information after this play by McDonald. It's second down and 6. He's caught from behind, rips his way free, and completes it to White, but for a loss to the 37-yard line, 38-yard line of Ohio State, and that'll bring up third down and 8. The date again is April 26th. The JCs need 50,000 volunteers to help on that Olympic Gold Medal Day. If you want to help our Olympic team get ready for Moscow, check with your local JC's office tomorrow. Join the team April 26th.
Check before that last play. SC had thrown 16 passes and rushed 36 times. They're trying to get a mix of 60% run and 40% pass. They haven't been able to do it today, I think, because of the aggressiveness of this Ohio State defense.
Big third and 8, and that's Michael Hayes in motion. Good protection. He's going deep. What a catch by 89 Hobie Brenner. Brenner hauls it in at the 24-yard line. First down, USC.
First down at the 25-yard line.
Sometimes it pays to be tall. Hobie Brenner is about 6'5", and Ray Ellis jumped for the interception, jumped to try and knock it away. He couldn't reach that football. Brenner could. First down, big play.
Third and 8, SC sustains its drive with a first down at the Ohio State 24. Early fourth quarter, Buckeyes lead 13-10. 3 tight ends in for USC. Rakshani essentially a tight end. Here comes White behind Rakshani. Tripped up at the 21-yard line. White a gain of 3 unofficially now with 143 yards rushing today.
Well, they say the great ones, they perform at their best in the big games, and it happens time and time again, you know.
180 yards was his average this year. You know, he rushed this year for more than a mile, and he's now over 6,000 yards in his career.
I think the thing that's impressive about his career is his durability. The fact that he has rushed over 1,100 times in his 4 years, that's remarkable to me.
Missed a few quarters this year early in the year, but so durable. McDonald looking into the end zone. Garcia was open, but I believe that Ellis 27 did get a hand on it. It appeared the pass was deflected.
Ellis got his fingers on the ball.
Well, I tell you, Ellis was playing that all the way, it appeared to me, and I don't think McDonald saw him coming across. He looked like he was pacing himself across there, waiting for him to throw the ball, and was going to try to go and pick it off.
I think McDonald was so sure that Ellis was not going to be there, O.J., that he threw it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he saw him, and Ellis really, I don't think it was a finger that got the ball. He just missed the ball. Ellis looked like he had the ball intercepted.
He did have a piece of it and deflected it behind Garcia, so it's now third down again for McDonald. 3rd and 7 from the 21. That's White in motion. And McDonald rolls this way, looking for Kevin Williams. No, and his man falls. Garcia, Danny Garcia, as he made his cut to the inside, fell on the grass, and it's 4th and 7, and here comes Eric Kipp for the field goal try.
I think the pass is behind Garcia, though. Even before he falls, the ball was thrown badly. He's trying to stop and go back for it. So had that ball been thrown accurately, would probably have been caught, would have been close to the first down.
Yeah, Paul McDonald didn't set up. Normally he'll get outside, set up, and throw, and that time he tried to throw on the run, and I think it threw his accuracy.
Kipp has connected from 41 yards, missed from 42, but that was the penalty play. This one will be 39 yards. High, long, and no good. It's wide to the left. The 10 on Hipp's back. Symbolic. USC stays at that number, and Ohio State retains the lead. 13 minutes left here in Pasadena. 1980 sees Ohio State through 3 quarters plus, still in the lead. 13 for the Bucks, 10 for the Trojans. young Eric Hipp has just missed a potential tying field goal. Watch his reaction. Eno wide left. So Anakievsky has kicked 2 for Ohio State, and the Buckeyes lead 13-10. Schleister hits Donnelly. He might go all the way. 40, 30, 25, all the way to the 20-yard line. Schleister hooks up again on a long gainer. 58 yards, Schleister to Donnelly. And the Buckeyes are hitting big through the air.
Oh, what excitement. Donnelly comes to the sideline. You can see the emotion pumping down there. Watch the play now. They get Donnelly isolated on the sideline. That's Scroggins, 81, peeling off on him. He's going to be one of the late people there. But the play is right there. They catch it early. A good block thrown. Now watch this great move that he puts on Lott right there. Got him to turn around. At 47, Joey Browner coming with a lot of speed to run him down.
Calvin Murray on first down. Darts inside the 15 to the 13. And that'll be second down. And a short 3 for Ohio State.
Well, we're talking about seeing a different Big Ten representative here. It's really amazing to me how many Big Ten teams would have come out after that missed field goal and tried to control the ball and protect that 3-point lead. It's a different Ohio State team here, surely.
You don't think Earl Bruce is excited? You watched him along that sideline. He is pumped up, and he's shown that emotion all through the workouts in preparation for this game.
Schleister has 270 yards passing on 10 completions. That's a 27-yard average. Campbell to the 10, lurches forward to the first down at the 10, so it's going to be first and goal. Ohio State, the longest possible distance on first and goal.
While we were talking about Earl Bruce, I think it's important that we pay credit to him for the incredible job he's done. In his first year, a transition year normally for a coach, he has taken a team that was not ranked, that was not expected to do well. He has brought them here. They're in the lead. They're driving right now. And also important that we compliment another man who's not here, Woody Hayes. This is really Woody's team. He recruited them, and Earl Bruce has done a magnificent job of bringing them to where they are today, but Woody deserves some credit too.
Absolutely, and Bruce will be the first one to tell you, weren't for Hayes, I wouldn't be here because I would have quit school. I had a knee injury as a sophomore, went home, and Woody says, you get back here, even if you can't play football, get your education. Schleister looking for 6, and he gets 3 Trojans. Sack at the 21. Chip Banks, 51, led the charge. Second sack for the Trojans. Big play.
Somehow the words "don't get greedy" come to me. Those are 10 yards that are awfully tough down there. Schleister, though, wisely did not throw the ball away, and he did not have any time. Excellent pass rush right there. I guess that's the wise choice. If you can't unload it and get it out of the end zone, take the loss.
Especially down here close. Marion Lamp had an excellent pass rush. The guy tried to cut him. He stepped over him and kept the heat on.
Banks, Lapka, and Edwards all in on the play. So it's second down and goal now from the 21-yard line. X in motion. He's the fastest of the Buckeyes. Instead they draw it. Murray is trapped for a loss. George Chica, a freshman from San Jose, number 78, made the defensive play for USC. A loss of 5 more.
Strangely enough, when they had that right before the ball was snapped, I was thinking they're around the 25. They're really better past the field position.
They are. They got more room to work with. Boy, what a tremendous emotional surge by SC. It looked like all the emotional enthusiasm was on the side of the Ohio State players. They got the big play to Donnelly, got it down in great position, and got another first down at the 10, and now they've moved the ball back about 16 yards. They're going the wrong direction.
I tell you, all Ohio State needs a lot of field in front of them. when they need a lot of yards, they make the big plays.
They've got it now. Third and goal from the 26. Dumps it off to Murray. 25, looking for blockers. 20, 15, 10. He's all the way to the 7-yard line.
When they need a lot of yards, they make the big play.
But that was a running play more than a pass. It was Murray catching the pass and some cross-field running by Murray. Gets him to the 7, where it's 4th and goal.
Well, the plays are called by head coach Earl Bruce. He called a smart one here. I think he was looking for enough yardage to get a field goal up. He got more than that. Murray did an incredible job of breaking tackles. Joey Browner there, the last guy to get a hold of him. Otherwise, he might have been in the end zone.
Now from ground level, you see Schleister, the quick pop. to Murray, gets him in the open field, and Murray shows that he likes it out there where he can play with those tacklers. 5 men hit him before they finally dragged him down, and now Anakievsky to try a 24-yard field goal. Ohio State has 3 more. Anakievsky's 3rd field goal of the game. He's the all-time field goal kicker in Ohio State history as a senior, punctuating that title today. 9:42 remaining in the game here in Pasadena. Ohio State now leads USC 16-10.
Saturday on NBC, college basketball's best battle it out in exciting regional action. Telecasts include the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Tennessee Vols, Iona against the Georgetown Hoyas, and USC versus Oregon State. Check local listings for the game in your area.
16-10, Ohio State leads USC with 9:42 left. Atha will kick it off. Anakievsky has set a new Rose Bowl record with 3 field goals. Skips it down to Michael Hayes at the 1-yard line for USC. Senior from San Diego's at the 15, the 20. He's at the 30 and out to the 32. Almost loose. Atha, the kicker, was there to secure the tackle. James Laughlin hit him low, but Hayes was still trying to stay in balance when Atha dropped him. Don't forget, immediately following this Rose Bowl, NBC wraps up Bowl Day 80, the glamour pageantry, the 1980 Orange Bowl from Miami, featuring number 4 ranked Florida State Seminoles and the 5th-rated Sooners of Oklahoma. Don Cricky, John Brody standing by in beautiful Miami for 1980's version of the Orange Bowl. Paul McDonald at the 32 of the Trojans.
Changing the plays, out of way.
White. There's the tackle by 15, Alvin Washington, the junior from Cleveland. Actually, the blocker in Washington did not allow White any room to run.
Yeah, he got some penetration, and Marcus Allen was blocking him. I think at the last minute, Charles White wanted to break it outside and got a little tangled up there. But what amazed me, Maryland, is early in the game, I mean, before the game, really, you said the difference in this game may come down to the special teams, and that is exactly what has happened at this point.
Not Tom Oros with the 3 field goals. We don't want to get the Anakievskys mad at us. It was Vlade Anakievsky that has the 3 field goals and the Rose Bowl record. McDonald wide open. Raymond Butler. He's to the Ohio State 48. Fumbles! And who has it? USC. Southern California has a penchant for that sort of thing. This year, they fumbled 37 times, but recovered 22 of their fumbles. And here it is again for a forward gain on the fumble.
They had an all-out blitz going, all kinds of room for Butler. Watch the hit right here that stripped him. That's Skillings, 48, really put the hit on him, but Rockshani right there to take advantage of it. Bell almost in the same position. The ball bounced up. Ooh, Mike Guess had a chance at it. Rockshani, very quick hands, saved the fumble.
So it's first down USC at the 41-yard line, trailing Ohio State 16-10. 8.5 minutes left, 4th quarter. Rockshani with the zap action. And McDonald to White. He has a first down at the Ohio State 29-yard line. And here come the Trojans.
Talked earlier about this physical advantage and what you have to do to beat it. You've got to slant, you've got to loop, you've got to stunt, and sometimes that leaves some room in the middle. You don't want to leave Charles White any room in the middle. He knows what to do with it.
First down, 29 of Ohio State. Allen and White stacked up behind McDonald. Kevin Williams to the right. The pitch to White. Threads his way to the 24-yard line. He is a defiant runner.
They say a good runner. You have to run with a little reckless abandon. You can't worry about getting hurt. White does that. I guess he personifies that more than any back I've ever seen. He throws his body. You know, for a full guy, he takes more shots and he jumps right back.
He is little at 6 feet tall if he's that at 185, but when you see his torso, he's not little. Looks like somebody took the skin apart and put metal in there for muscles. He is built as well as any man would ever want to be. He's a strong man at 185. He shows that in his running style. 2nd and 5. McDonald looking incomplete. Danny Garcia rocked hard as he went for the catch at the 13-yard line. Again, good defense by Ohio State. Vince Skillings with a hit.
Super hit. That was a case of Paul McDonald going for almost the whole loaf that time. He had two guys I think he could have gotten the first down with.
The most unusual angle from the blimp. As you watch that pass from McDonald, almost caught down on about the 12-yard line. The Ohio State defense is overshifting just after McDonald makes his audible. And I think it's causing him some problems. They're letting him call his audible, and then they're shifting at the last second. Let's watch and see if they do it again.
Third down, 5 at the 24. White in motion. McDonald pumps over the middle. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Oh, my. 28, Bob Murphy of Santa Ynez, California. He saw his dream through. He's from this part of the country. Had a chance for the deflection interception, but it caught him out of stride.
And now John Robinson has an interesting choice to make. Fourth down, about the 24-yard line. He's got to choose whether to go for it or bring a field goal kicker in. I think he's going to try and get the first down here.
Eric Kipp has missed a couple. This would be a 42-yard attempt, so he's going to go for it on 4th and 5. Big play with 7 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter. Ohio State leads by 6. Crowd comes to its feet. McDonald going for Garcia. Incomplete. We lost a Buckeye player for a moment. As Ray Ellis went right into the crowd, the pass was out of the field of play, and the Buckeyes have the ball back as USC stalls on 4th and 5 at the Ohio State 24.
You see why coaches get gray hair.
That does say it all. 7 minutes left, and eternity for both sides. 16-10 the score. It's Ohio State's ball when we return. Exactly 7 minutes remain. Ohio State leads USC 16-10. The Buckeyes have stopped the Trojans at the Ohio 24. Let's see how Schleister and Ohio State will play it. Will they stay on the ground, or will Schleister keep it open? Up the middle goes Murray. Shot out of a cannon all the way to the 47-yard line. Boy, did that one open up.
I tell you, he's a very good running back. You know, you don't hear too much about their runners, but if you look at all their tailbacks and you take their statistics together, they're all averaging over 5 yards a carry. Real nice, Holy. Pops through there. He does what you like your backs to do. When he sees an open, he just takes off, breaks a tackle or two. He's not a very big guy. The acceleration, it seems to be his main thing.
First down, Ohio State near midfield. An injury to Murray. They're attending to the fallen Buckeye. Timeout. 6:54 left. Ohio State 16, SC 10. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, O.J. Simpson at the Rose Bowl. The clock winding down. 6:54 left. The underdog Ohio State Buckeyes lead it 16-10, and they have a first down at the 47. Murray left the field under his own power. He's been replaced by this man, 46 Tim Spencer, who drives into SC territory to the 48-yard line. Dennis Johnson with a tackle. Murray has been bothered by a hip point injury all season long. We don't know if that was the case on that last play. He's had a big day, 78 yards. The leading rusher all season long, just 1 yard under 800.
I think he was bothered by a hit by Chip Banks, number 51, who hit him before he went to the ground. He got his bell rung. You see them talking to him. He's not back yet.
Second down and 6. Alabama won earlier against Arkansas. Houston beat Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl. Spencer play a little slow getting off. That's an interesting contrast to that same style play with White carrying it.
Well, I think at USC you're taught, or you run the play so many times, you really know when to turn it up. On that play, I think the back may have been able to turn it up right away. The outside linebacker strung it out real well for USC, and I think he should have turned it up. He would have more success if he'd have turned up right away.
Looking up the clock, Dick, 6:06 left to go. Third down, a big third down here. Ohio State would like to control the football if they can. If they can keep this drive alive, they may well be able to wipe out that time on the clock.
And Ohio State has elected to call a timeout. Schleister visiting with his head coach Earl Bruce. 6 minutes and 6 seconds remain. Ohio State leads 16-10. 105,526 at the Rose Bowl today. I've seen underdog Ohio State rally from a 10-0 deficit, tied at the half at 10, take the lead on a pair of field goals in the second half at 16-10. Buckeyes with the ball, a critical 3rd and 5 at the USC 47. Donnelly in motion. Schleister under pressure. They've got him for a sack at the 43-yard line. Chip Banks, 51, with Charles Usry, 79, in support. Schleister, his high this year, 233 yards passing, and he's well surpassed that today.
And he's trapped by the blitz here. Chip Banks, 51, coming from the backside. It looked like there was room to step up into the pocket a little bit. If he had done that, he might have had time to get that pass off.
So Tom Morris, after that sack by Southern California, will have to kick it. He'll hit it about the 33. Raymond Butler stands at the USC 13. Beautiful kick. Butler, fair catch at the 17-yard line. Good height on that one. It hung up there, and Butler could see too many red shirts. He wasn't going to run it back. Certainly want to thank all of those that have made our job so pleasant today, and the big people who really make this such a successful event year after year. In the case of this Rose Bowl game, the chairman of the Rose Bowl committee, Bill Nicholas, our old friend here in Southern California. Fred Hardcastle was the president of the Tournament of Roses this year. Oh, how proud he must have been of that parade and this classic game, the Rose Bowl, and it gave us all a thrill to see old Blue Eyes as the Grand Marshal. In 40 years, he's made us all happy. Frank Sinatra. Charlie White, he's running like he could sing to this one. 40, tackled from behind at midfield. Laughlin, number 5, may have saved the touchdown. Charles White rips off a big gainer, and here comes USC.
White again, they're running the 23 blast.
Go ahead,
That means something to me, and he's broken outside. He gets caught from behind. I'm a little surprised. That's twice that's happened today, but that's the old bread and butter play. That 23 blast.
And then Jim Laughlin, number 5, that made the stop, their MVP. That's the reason he's their MVP. He's made that kind of plays all year.
That was a hustle play. First down at the 49 of USC. It's White again. 45, 40, 35, 30. He's all the way to the 22. Charles White is over the 200-yard mark today. You said it, O.J. Heisman winner. The big guys play big in the important moments.
Art's been doing it for Ohio State. Charles certainly is doing it for USC.
First down USC at the Ohio State 23.
Dick, you couldn't have asked for a better script to the finale of this game. Within 1 point if they get this touchdown in, and they can go ahead if they get 7 on the board.
4.5 minutes remaining.
Late shift again by OSU's defense.
Michael Hayes in for the tired White, and he gets a good gain on first down inside the 17-yard line. It'll be second down and 4.
Ohio State has been shifting late on McDonald. That time McDonald came back with another audible, and he hit the open spot and got a big gain.
Gentlemen, Charles White has set a new Rose Bowl record. 215 yards rushing, breaks the record set by Bob Jeter, the Iowa star, as he ran against Cal in 1959. 215 for White. Marcus Allen drives to what appears to be a first down at the 12-yard line. It is first down USC with 3:47 left.
Dick, you talked about the kind of job that the Rose Bowl committee has done on this performance in the parade. Our two teams have done an incredible job of living up to everything that was expected of them. And it all comes down to this. 3:40 on the clock. They're within 11 yards of the goal line. Ohio State's defense knows what is expected of them. SC needs the touchdown to win, and the game is on the field.
SC needs a touchdown to go ahead. Don't forget Art Schleister is on that Ohio State team.
Charles White back in the game, and he drives to the 8-yard line of the Buckeyes. A gain of nearly 4. Second down along 6. A contemplative Earl Bruce, 48-year-old head man of the Buckeyes. And John Robinson. New 5-year contract stuffed in his back pocket, but right now he's as interested in that scoreboard and what's happening in front of him as the 105,000 plus here in the stadium. Second and 6. Rock Shani in motion. White off right tackle and plows inside the 5 to the 4 and maybe the 3. Right behind the block of Rakshani. It's going to be 3rd down as they spot the ball at the 4-yard line. 3rd and call it 2.5.
Well, we know we're in 4 down country now. You know, SC is not in any hurry. It's 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the game. They'd love to score with less than a minute to go in the game.
They don't have to leave any time on that clock, do they, O.J.? The other thing they can do is get a 1st down without getting a touchdown, and they may well be able to do that.
Well, they've had a pinch and a fumbling the ball down here over the last few years, so I think they'll take the touchdown now if they can get it.
3rd down, 2. White to the goal line, but not in. He is not in the end zone. That's an SC player signaling touchdown, but it's 1st and goal, USC on the 1-foot line. And you know who the crowd would like to see carry it in. He deserves it on this drive.
I think the SC crowd don't care who carries it in right now.
You see the ball snugged up right next to the end zone, and watch the offensive surge. We talked about the physical superiority on the line of scrimmage. You see it right there, and you see great second effort from Charles White as well.
1st and goal. A touchdown to tie. An extra point would give SC the lead. 1:38 left. Clock is running. White, touchdown! The record-setting Charles White has given USC a tie, and now the extra point to take the lead.
You've got to believe that Eric Hipp is happy to have a chance to get this team ahead after missing a couple of field goals today.
It's up, it's gone. And the scene will now shift to the Ohio State sidelines. The Buckeyes have 1:32 left to get Anakievsky into field goal range for a possible winner. Right now, the high emotions belong to the Trojans. 1:32 remaining. Southern California 17, Ohio State 16. And they just need to move the ball downfield, get it within Anakievsky's range. Let's just check what that is. His longest ever was this year, 51 yards. But he has improved during the course of the year in his distance, and in practice has hit from outside the 60. 2nd and 10. Charles White, 200 yards plus. Oh, he looks as if he's played in a game.
The battered gladiator. Is that a classic pose? What a game he's had today. Wow.
Schleister under pressure. How did he get that off? It's incomplete. Intended for Gary Williams, a man who has caught 2 long passes from Schleister today. Banks was wearing Schleister's uniform.
He was also wearing number 51 Banks and 70 Edwards right here. Both of them on top of him. Bam, bam. He's lucky to get it out of there. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. I think he had a feeling for the open territory on that one, Dick.
1:23 left. Look at the pressure on Schleister.
Ooh, right on my head.
That alone will throw off the aim.
Yep.
So the defense for SC will loosen a bit. Remember, it was in a similar situation at the end of the first half that Schleister hit the long bomb for a touchdown. Protected better this time to Donnelly, but misses way over the head of his intended target, Doug Donnelly. So it comes down to 4th and 10, Ohio State. They have to go for it.
It was in a situation like this earlier in the year that Schleister brought his team back against UCLA. They were down. They came back, went about 80-85 yards. But he doesn't have that many downs to work with. This is do or die. There are no more opportunities after this one unless we see something most remarkable.
O.J. Simpson is on his way down to the floor of the Rose Bowl. Time permitting, perhaps a chat. Wouldn't that be something to get O.J. with Charles White, Heisman to Heisman? Or maybe it'll be Schleister. 4th and 10. He has to get at least 10. And it's almost almost intercepted. It matters not. SC gets the ball on downs. And there's only a minute 11 left in this game.
I think Ronnie Lott didn't realize that it was fourth down. He was so pumped up about missing that pass. Let's watch the isolation here. It's Williams again, who had made the big plays, cuts inside. Lott slipped a little bit. Had the ball been thrown high enough, Williams might have had it. Lott missed it and said, how could I miss that interception? But the ball turns. Minute 11. All they need to do is grind that clock out. You'll see Ohio State call their timeouts, but unless they can pull the ball loose, not much of a chance now.
John Robinson looking for his third Rose Bowl win and as many opportunities. 4 years as head man. Here comes White. 15, and he's into the 13-yard line, and the clock is running. Ohio State 103, 102 does not use its timeout yet. They have 2 left. It's 58 seconds. Still running.
I'm surprised they haven't called their timeout.
No question about the outstanding player in this game. He was co-MVP last year with Rick Leach, the outstanding Michigan quarterback. The Heisman winner wraps up an incredible 4-year collegiate career. He's rushed for 238 yards today, far and away a Rose Bowl record. He scored what proved to be the winning touchdown, and now Paul McDonald trying to run out the final seconds. 29-28. The fans are starting to count. Charles White again. An encore for White. Short yardage. And with 20 seconds left, 19, still Ohio State finally uses one of its remaining 2 timeouts.
I can't believe they didn't call it earlier and try and force SC to handle the ball a couple of more times. It really is the only chance they had, Dick.
Well, thanks to our NBC crew, covered this 1980 Rose Bowl Classic. Terry Coyle, who has directed 25 of these beauties. He's our own granddaddy. Larry Cirillo, our producer, our executive producer, Don Olmeyer, are with us today. All of those of you in the booth, our thanks, Dave Holman, Dave Rush, Joe Costanza, Jack Prote, Dennis Mnuchin, for your support. And flying high above Pasadena, our aerial ambassador again, Captain John Creighton at the controls. Thank you, Captain. Great job to get those sensational aerial views.
Dick, you got to say that these 2 teams, as we said earlier, have lived up to the beauty of this day, the excitement of this Rose Bowl celebration. Magnificent parade this morning, a magnificent football game this afternoon, hanging on our seats until the last seconds. 2 great football teams and 2 well-balanced football teams. They gave us all the football we could digest during this afternoon.
It all started here in 1902. There are a lot of bowl games to watch and enjoy, but this living up to its senior citizen title. It's the grandest of them all. They've played to all of that tradition today. With 16 seconds left, White a final carry, breaking tackles, and he's to the 4-yard line. 10-9, and the clock stopped Ohio State's final timeout. And in some manner, the gallant Buckeyes, in trying to stop the clock, hoping for that miracle fumble and a long play, are extending the incredible career of one Charles White. 246 yards for White. Ohio State, an underdog team, although they were rated 1 in the AP poll. And now the clock runs out. It's all over. The University of Southern California, led by that man, Charles White, has defeated a game underdog team from Ohio State. The final, Trojans 17, the Buckeyes 16. Coaches Robinson and Earl Bruce meet at midfield, shake hands, offer, I'm sure, their admiration and their congratulations of a job well done on both sides. It's a shame you have to have a loser in a game of this quality.
In a game so evenly played, 2 teams so well matched on this day and trying to fight to cover their weaknesses, trying to exploit their advantages. Well coached, well disciplined. They fought it out for a full ball game. It came down to the final seconds. And you're right, Dick. It's a shame that Ohio State has to lose, but they can hold their heads up. They know that they play great football.
So who is number 1? Ohio State has lost a game, so you have to figure the Buckeyes are not. USC has been tied only once by Stanford. Alabama won earlier, so they have to be turned. Now we are number 1, and Florida State says, hey, we're unbeaten. What if we have an impressive win over a great Oklahoma team? And you'll see that in the Orange Bowl in a few moments. And of course the Trojans say, we're number one. You saw John Robinson race over to the cheering section and acknowledge their support. There he is. What a present for the man who has led USC so well.
It looked like he was congratulating Ray Ellis, one of the defensive backs that O.J. talked to earlier. John Robinson has to be so excited, so thrilled about the way his team played today. Looks like O.J. has him down on the field.
Right. Take it over, O.J., with Coach John Robinson.
Yeah, I'm down here with Coach John Robinson. Coach, the boys, they came back like champions. They call them the Cardiac Kids, and they certainly deserve that name today.
Well, Charlie White, the whole football team, but Charlie White's performance in that last drive is phenomenal. It's been that way all his career. He's the finest player I've ever been coached. But you got to look at this football game and say, there's no better show in the country. Both teams played great football. The Ohio State team, I thought, was super. I didn't think they'd ever let us in the end zone, and it was a great game all the way around, O.J.
Well, Ohio State came in rated number 1 by one poll, and they certainly was deserving of that rating. What do you think SC should be rated now?
Well, I don't know exactly. I think I got to sit down and look at Alabama. For me, we should be rated number 1. But a lot of people, there's probably 2 number 1 football teams in this country, and I think we're one of them. I'm sure Alabama's an outstanding team, too. But I can't think of anything. There's nothing else other than this football game for me. This was a great football game. God, how lucky can a man be to be involved in something like this?
Well, Coach, congratulations. I know you want to get in the locker room with the guys. Hey, let's have a few more, huh?
Oh, yeah. O.J., it was great. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's you talk about.
That's all right, O.J.
You know, you talk about champions. You know, I've always stated that the champions play best in the best games. And let me tell you, Ohio State came here. They played like champions. They played a super football game. It's a shame that they had to lose the football game. But once again, Charles White is voted the top player in the country this year. And his performance today surely proved that he is certainly one of the finest players that ever played collegiate football. I'm proud of him. It was an exciting show. Hey, I'm just happy. I'm happy that the team won. I'm happy that it was a great game. It's a great way to start the 80s. It looked like it's going to be a super decade for sports. Dick, back to you.
All right, O.J., great job. O.J. did a terrific job in restraining himself throughout the day. I thought I detected a little cardinal and gold coming out in his chat with John Robinson. To Coach Robinson, congratulations on his victory. To Coach Earl Bruce of Ohio State, you're taking a proud band of Buckeyes back to Columbus. Thank you for an outstanding afternoon.
I think everyone can be proud of this day.
Indeed. The executive producer of this 1980 Rose Bowl game, Don Ohlmeyer. And of course, so many people responsible for the presentation of this Rose Bowl Classic on NBC. NBC was the very first network to carry the Rose Bowl in 1927 when Graham McNamee was the play-by-play announcer. And there were the Bill Stearns and Harry Wismer and some of the great men who called the games in that era. And then nearly 30 years ago, in black and white, NBC television carried the game from Pasadena on television. And Mel Allen called the games in. And Lindsey Nelson also had the privilege of sitting in the seat of which I occupy now. And my friend Kurt Gowdy did the last 15 Rose Bowls. And it's almost a cliche now, but it's really an exciting way to start the year.
So I don't think they could have had a more exciting game to play with, nor a more beautiful day to operate on. And again, I would have to say that we ought to offer our congratulations to this Rose Bowl committee. They are the people who put it on for us. They did such a fantastic job.
Stay tuned for that Orange Bowl, folks. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen, O.J. Simpson from Pasadena, California. Thank you for joining us. This 1980 game belongs to the University of Southern California. The final score, USC 17, Ohio State 16.